It's the Down to Earth Network with your host, Sean Myrie. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Right? A lot of things going on. How you doing, people? How you doing, people? We're on all podcast platforms: Spotify Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, Audio Mac, everywhere, and YouTube. Yes. What you saying, people? 6 o'clock, Friday the 13th. People say it's bad luck today, but let's see if it's good luck or bad luck. Let's test the energy. Let's test the vibe. So, this episode is called Get Rich or Die Beefing, meaning people who are like, they beef so much throughout their life or their career. It's part of their resume. And one person, I should say, is Donald Trump once again. And in relation to the culture of hip hop, right? Because a lot of people in hip hop always mention Donald Trump in their raps. Tons of people in hip hop culture have brought up Donald Trump in their raps. So I'm just going to read a brief description on Google what they're talking about, how they talk about Donald Trump in relation to hip hop. And people, bring up the likes. Please subscribe. Bless up OG Kicks. Right? So Donald Trump's relationship with hip hop artists. Donald Trump's relationship with hip hop artists has been marked by both positive and negative interactions. He has been a symbol of wealth and power in hip hop. See what they said? Lyrics with artists like Kanye West, Mac Miller referencing him in their work. You remember that? People used to talk about that. Okay, like Kanye West and Mac Miller referenced him in their raps. The influence has diminished since 2016, with many artists expressing their disapproval of his policies and actions. Despite this, Trump's presence in hip hop culture has been significant, with artists like Lil Wayne receiving clemency from him and his name appearing in songs by various artists. The relationship between Trump and hip hop has evolved over the years, reflecting the changing dynamics in the genre and the impact of political figures on cultural expression. So, Donald Trump's been around. He's been around. Hip hop, they were praising him before. It's kind of funny how they were praising Donald Trump. But a lot of people are quiet now about Donald Trump. I'll be honest. A lot of people are quiet about him. But like I'm saying, there's many stories of him, right? Get rich or die beefing. So far, he's turning 80 and he's beefing with a lot of people. But let's see this, the history of Donald Trump and Kanye West. So it's saying Trump Kanye West meeting, short history. Let's see. Because he's been in the culture, people been name dropping Donald Trump for years. If it wasn't for hip hop, a lot of people might not know who he is. So it says Trump Kanye West meeting, a short history of rappers. Hold on a minute. Of rappers Jay Z and Kendrick Lamar to Diddy. Interesting. Interesting. Because people were like praising Donald Trump back in the days. Kanye West did have a meeting with him. Kanye West meets with Donald Trump at the White House, right? You guys remember this? I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to bring it back, right? Donald Trump and hip hop. So he's getting rich, right? With the beef. But I'm connecting Donald Trump is very influential in hip hop. Now, no one's talking against him really. So this is a meeting he had, right? Donald Trump's meeting with Kanye West at the White House proved to be every bit surreal as expected. The rapper wearing a Make America Great Again" cap and saying it made him feel like Superman. Hugged the president and declared, "I love this guy right here." The duo this is funny. The duo previously met at Trump's Towers in New York following Mr. Trump's election victory in November 2016, discussed a wide range of topics from North Korea to prison reform, mental health, and even design for a new hydrogen powered plane. Kanye apparently sharing interest in visionary aviation and with Howard Hughes. So a lot of people don't know they've been talking back, from 2016, Kanye and Trump. Trump had previously met with Mr. West's wife, Kim Kardashian. when she visited Washington in June to petition for pardon people. Remember that? Of 63-year-old grandmother Alice Johnson, who had served 21 years in federal prison Aliceville, Alabama, after being given a disproportionate life sentence for nonviolent first offense relate. Okay, I'm reading this because Kim Kardashian is with, Kanye West. So there's more rappers. I'm gonna bring it up. Like, this man is in the culture, right? But he's gonna get rich, right? Rich and die beefing, because that's what he's doing with all the nations, different nations right now, beefing and having war and talking a lot of shit, right? So let's see who he has. So he had the country rap bad boy Kid Rock, Alaska Republican, Sarah Palin, and guitar. Okay, all of these guys, they put artists when they're doing their little campaign. But he does have history. Oh, this is interesting. I see Kendrick Lamar. I hope Kendrick Lamar wasn't like bigging up Donald Trump, right? It was Obama, of course. So yeah, they're showing the presidents. I'm gonna go right now. Like, right now, Trump wants to get more rich, more than ever, right? And he's gonna die trying for sure, beefing with a lot of people because he's a billionaire and he just wants more money. Much respect. Skits Beats. I got the link, the invite link too. Anybody could tap in. You don't have to show your face, right? But right now he's getting more rich, right? You can't deny it. He's getting more rich off of this whole conflict with the oil, right? It's politics. It's a monopoly. What he's doing, and he's beefing with all these nations. You have to check it. So he wants to get rich, and you seen the title what I put, right? Or die beefing for sure. That's what he's gonna do, or he is doing. He's almost 80 years old, and he doesn't give a damn. He's almost 80 years old, and he's making a lot of, if you want to say, trouble in the world, right? There's a whole list of people he's beefing with, but like in regards to hip hop, he's doing it like 50. He's doing it like 50. I'm gonna play some audio if I can of Mr. West talking. Let's see. Let's see. No, no. Let's see. I'm gonna go to West. Kanye West was a good friend of Donald Trump. You remember that? He has a mouth, right? He has a mouth. Here it goes. Yo, the White House has terrible audio. They should have better mics. They have all this media there, and like when you're listening to the video, or even today when I was hearing them in the White House, they need some a podcaster in there to give them some pointers, man. They have some bad audio. It skips to talk about Iran, but Nicki Minaj, very influential, right? Hip hop. That's one of his close allies now. A female hip hop artist, and she's beefing with everybody. Well, she's beefing with Jay Z, right? And she's good with Donald Trump, right? You got to look on it. She's good with Donald Trump, and she's beefing with Jay Z, and she's beefing with other people, and she's good with Donald Trump. Donald Trump loves her, so that's another hip hop artist right there. Now, I know Snoop said "F Donald Trump." I heard that before, the "F Donald Trump" song, but there was history of recently when he became the president again that Snoop was doing some type of performance for Donald Trump. What has Donald Trump said about Sean Diddy? He talked about Diddy, okay? Donald Trump's complex relationship with hip hop. Yeah, he helped Kodak Black, right? Remember that. Remember, he helped Kodak Black come out of a situation. He has pardoned a couple rappers. He gave a Lil Wayne clemency. Like, I didn't know the details of him with Lil Wayne, really how that came up. But yeah, look, who else is this? Trump's long, complicated relationship with hip hop. Okay, they say this was when he was the former president, was once a symbol of power and wealth to many MCs. That's true. Who's he in the picture with? This is interesting. Donald, during his failed attempt to court black voters at a church event in Detroit last week, former President Donald Trump was backed by several black Republicans, as well as rapper Sada Baby, right? I didn't know that. Born Cassandra Sorrell outside. Who else? Who else is there? There was people who was backing Donald Trump before, way before he got controversial. A whole bunch of them. Don't forget, a whole bunch of them. Kodak Black still loves Donald Trump. Lil Wayne still loves Donald Trump. They ain't saying nothing about him. P. Diddy, oh shit, I see this picture of him, 1997. Interesting. Okay. How much people know that relationship, which he doesn't want to talk about? Yes, him and Will Smith. He was on what's called Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Trump appears on the Prince of Bel Air in 1994. So a lot of people respected him some type of way to have him on that show. Like 1994, Donald Trump appears alongside second wife Marla Maples. I forgot about that lady on The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. The series was pivotal in launching the career of Will Smith, who became the first rapper to win a Grammy in 1989, of one half of the DJ Jazzy Jeff of The Fresh Prince. In the episode, Trump portrays a tycoon who was considering buying Banks' mansion. The cameo came just 5 years after Trump called for the execution of the exonerated Central Park Five. Oh, Central Park Five. You remember that? That's controversial. And that hip hop talks about that. People, please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I got the guest link in here. Trump sparks friendship with Diddy, 1997. And Diddy just asked for him to, could he pardon him? So let's see this. Following the shocking death of the notorious Big in 1997, Sean Diddy Combs released his debut studio album, No Way Out, under the moniker Puff Daddy. Just several months later, the project launched him into hip hop stratosphere and sparked a friendship with Trump that same year. They were spotted at the US Open together, and Trump attended the opening of Diddy's restaurant Justin with him shortly after. That's interesting. So Trump and Diddy had a relationship, but what's going on, Trump? Why don't you pardon your boy? He wants to stay away from that shit. Why don't you pardon your boy, Trump? So Method Man releases Donald Trump skit. He has a Donald Trump skit. Method Man. You see, I'm putting how the culture was with Donald Trump before they start ripping at him. So a lot of people loved him. They don't want to forget that shit, right? So Method Man was flying high on his 1998 sophomore solo album, To Cal 2000, Judgment Day, when he solidified the appearance from Donald Trump. On the Donald Trump skit, Donald Trump expressed excitement over Method Man's next project. Hey, Method Man, this is Donald Trump. I'm in Palm Beach where you all waiting for your album. Let's get it going, man. Everybody's waiting for this album, Trump says on a skit in 2017. Method Man told Seth Meyers that Trump appeared on Tikal due to Trump's friendship with Russell Simmons. So he got a friendship with Russell Simmons. All these guys, these rich, wealthy guys, they have a relationship. So you see that? How much people know that about Tikal, right? Trump has a talent agent. Yes, he's an actor. He's an actor. He's in Hollywood. He's been in the media for a good while, right? So let's see now. Smith and Wesson from the Duck Down, one of my favorite and my brother's favorite, right? Black Trump, 2003. So they say Black Trump. In 2003, Smith and Wesson and Raekwon released the song Black Trump. I thought it was Black Trunk. I'm an idiot. I remember that song. That was big, huge. Black Trunk. So it says, Black Trump. See, I'm still saying Black Trunk. Black Trump, on which the legendary Wu-Tang Clan MC brags about his wealth. You got to make power moves, black guns, and cash rules, right? He reaffirms Trump's status symbol by asking at the end of the track, guess who's the Black Trump? See? The Black Trump. They were referring to him good before. Not anymore. Let's see if there's going to be any more rap songs talking about him good. I'm waiting for that, right? Trump appears on G Unit Radio. Shit. He was on 50 ain't saying nothing. See, they have something in common. Trump and 50 has something in common. Ain't saying nothing, right? If you think 50 is going to say something about Trump, you're crazy. That's not going to happen right now. What do you guys think? What do you think about this? So back in 2005, 50 Cent called in Donald Trump to the G Unit radio, and he showed up, and people are saying he's racist though. Discuss money, hip hop, and the Apprentice. Trump attempted to hold his own alongside Just 50, but DJ Who Kid and Tony Yayo as well, who he called a great group of people. When he asked about the next venture, Trump insisted that real estate would always be his priority for him. You hear that? He said real estate would always be the priority for him. Trump also said his kids thought 50 Cent was the absolute best. So all his sons are fans of 50 Cent. 50 Cent is good. That's why he does anything he wants. It seems that he's doing anything he wants. Right? So 50 ain't talking about Trump. 100%. He's staying away from that. You could call him whatever you want, but 50 ain't gonna be talking about no Donald Trump. So Mac Miller goes platinum with Donald Trump 2011. Yo, a lot of rappers got big off of using Donald Trump. I'm just gonna say a lot of rappers got big off of using Donald Trump's name. It's funny. In 2011, the late Mac Miller released Donald Trump, the only single from his mixtape Best Day Ever. The song referenced Trump's success with wealth, how Miller hopes to emulate it with lines like "Take over the world when I'm on my Donald Trump shit. Look at all this money, ain't that some shit?" Donald Trump was Miller's first song to enter the US Billboard Hot 100 and was certified platinum. So Donald Trump's name goes far, people. Yo, that was his first track. Mac Miller, the rapper, man. Mac Miller, if you know hip hop. What 100, Hot 100, and was certified platinum in 2013. Miller would go on to be a vocal critic of Trump's presidency. So then he became a critic after using Donald Trump that made him big. Now, here's the other one. I think it was Nipsey Hussle. I always think it's Snoop because he sounds kind of like him. F Donald Trump. It makes me wonder now. I'm gonna go in my conspiracy bag. Did Donald Trump was this before was Nipsey alive when Donald Trump like did they hear this song before Nipsey died? Like did Donald Trump did this song come out before he died? I gotta look on that. So it says F FDT by Young YG 2016. F Donald Trump, right? In March 2016, Trump was campaigning for the presidency when YG released the rigorous anthem FDT or FK Donald Trump. Don't let Donald Trump win. That nigga cancer. He's too rich. He ain't got no answers. You can't make decisions for the country. You're gonna crash us. Why? He said you're gonna crash us. Long time from 2016. You're gonna crash us, YG Rap. The song also featured the late Nipsey Hussle, who told Trump, "I'm from a place where you probably can't go," speaking for some people that you probably ain't know. Trump was elected a month later. Makes me wonder. I gotta look up when Nipsey. What time did Nipsey die? There's a lot of hip hop with Donald Trump, so he's starting all these beefs before he goes away. He's making sure that he does all these beefs before he goes away, people. 100%. And people, please subscribe, bring up the likes, right? Still early. A lot of things, testing my glass, testing my shades. So now, in 2016, just 8 days before the presidential election, this is where it's going to get conspiracy kind of. It's going to get kind of, I'm going to bring it all together with you guys, right? So in 2016, just 8 days before the presidential election, hip hop super couple endorsed Hillary Clinton during the Cleveland rally. Though fame sometimes causes celebs to stay quiet about politics, Jay-Z and Beyonce had no problem making their allegiance known. Less than 100 years ago, women did not, okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so they were on the other side, the enemy side. So good luck to them. Guaranteed they'll be, Trump will be looking out for them. They're hiding, That's why you got Nicki Minaj calling him out because she thinks that Jay-Z owes her 100 million. So Trump quotes DJ Khaled 2017. This is crazy. See, hip hop very powerful, right? Who's Trump beefing with? Because you see it in the title. get rich or die beefing. Well, he's been doing that from his rise up in New York, influential in locking up the mafia, right? Because they would try to extort him, influential of politicians like Giuliani and stuff. So anybody who he didn't like, right, he would eliminate them, and he's been doing it for years. It's not nothing new. So this is what he's doing as a president too. He has beef. Kim, he's probably coming for you next. He has beef with a lot of world leaders. Beef with the Canadian Prime Minister. Beef with well, he already knocked out the Supreme Leader, so he still has beef with that. Uh, who else does he have beef with? Cuba. He has beef with that leader. He has beef with some European leaders, a whole bunch of European leaders. Like the list keeps going. How much beef does Trump have? He wants the whole plate, and that's why he's beefing with the whole world with these tariff shit. So he wants to get richer, right? Before he dies. So he doesn't give a damn. He's a billionaire, but guaranteed he's setting up the whole thing for his benefit when he's finished. If he's finished being a president. So he's setting it all up, people. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. So Trump, we're making so much progress that media. Okay, so he quotes DJ Khaled. This is hip hop. Trump, we're making so much progress that the media is being driven crazy. They're phony with the hunts. But you know what? All we do is win. So you're telling me this guy he listens to his sons and shit, right? For popular media, right? So it says in 2017, during a rally in Ohio, Iowa, Trump attempted to use the hip hop influence to balk the critics. We are making such incredible progress. We are making progress like nobody can believe, Trump said during his speech. These people, the media, are being driven crazy. They have phony witch hunts going against me. And you know what? All we do is win, win, win. So he used that shit for real. All we do is win. He seemingly lifted his lyrics from DJ Khaled's 2010 hit, All We Do Is Win. Who's giving him this advice? It's a new generation because he's seen recently they're making videos, AI videos, the president himself, and on his Truth Social, because he got Truth Social, making videos of Grand Theft Auto style, blowing up things in Iran, and then putting music to it, right? And I swear there's some hip hop music to these videos, these AI videos they've been making, right? Blowing up shit. Now, let's see. This is interesting. It says Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick speaks out on the Heart Part 4, 2007. How much people know about this? On Kendrick's first single of 2017, The Heart Part 4, the Pulitzer Prize winner, MC, used his talent to condemn Trump and his catastrophic presidency. Donald Trump is a chump. Donald Trump, he said. This is Kendrick. Know how we feel, punk. Tell him that God's coming and Russia need a reply button. Uh-oh, you could get in trouble for that, Kendrick. Russia need a reply button. You all up to something. Lamar actually rapped. Electoral votes look like memorial votes. But America's truth ain't ignoring the votes. It's blasphemy. How many gonna blast for me? I prophesied on my last song. You laughed at me. Beef with Cuba to see Marco Rubio kiss his yeah, Marco Rubio is gonna kiss something, man. Yo, people, please subscribe. Bring up the likes. I got the invite link. You don't have to cam up. You could just have the audio if you want your opinions in audio. But yeah, Kanye West, and it's in the description, the invite link. Yes, so let me keep continuing. Kanye West gets backlash for Trump endorsement. And that's when Kanye West kind of went down, right? Didn't that's when he went downhill. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's when Kanye had went downhill because he's beefing with everybody. He's like the bully. He's trying to be more extreme than Trump. He's trying to out talk Trump's craziness. So this was what happened. So it's 2018. In 2018, Kanye West stated that a mob couldn't stop his support of then President Donald Trump. The same year, during an appearance on the Saturday Night Live, West wore a Make America Great Again. That's when it started. Make America Great Again, and expressed love for Trump on the show. The rapper initially expressed support during a November 2016 concert in California, where West said that if he had voted for a presidential candidate, he would have voted for Trump. West would receive backlash for his remarks before running for president years later. Years later. Years, you see, so that's why Kanye's been blacklisted kind of by the hip hop. Well, hip hop was using Trump for years, so but he's getting blacklisted. I heard what's his name? West, he can't even perform in America. I'm hearing he can't perform in America because of Live Nation or something. They banned him. I don't know if that's true. Public Enemy, anti-Trump anthem 2020. Oh, so there was people pumping anti-Trump stuff. The only one I heard recently with something was J. Cole. That's the only one I heard recently talk was J. Cole. In 2020, let's read this. Public Enemy was always into this style type of rap. In 2020, Public Enemy, known for the powerful 1989 anthem Fight the Power, released DJ Premier produced song State of the Union, right? Frontman Chuck D said that the song was influenced by how Trump handled Black Lives Matter protests and the COVID-19 pandemic. I didn't write a lot of anti-Trump songs, but this is an anti-45 one for sure because it doesn't talk about him not being the right person for the job, right? And we voted him out so much. It's talking about you gotta leave now because you know the mountains burn and you gotta put out the fire. Chuck D. So they did make something in 2020 against Donald Trump. Public Enemy. People were making songs against Donald Trump in 2020. Now it's the war. So it's kind of funny. He's punishing people because if you look on his presidency, right, he's angry about the COVID thing. That's why he didn't become president right after. He's blaming everybody. He's blaming Obama for stuff around that time. He's blaming China. This is where the Chinese beef starts, right? This is why Trump put out the tariffs. The Chinese beef starts because Trump basically says it's a Chinese virus. He was said the China virus. He was calling it that. He was calling the COVID stuff the China virus. That's what Trump was doing. And they they weren't happy about it when he was referring to that, right? They weren't happy about it. There's a big beef from that time. They're still angry. Plies makes something about so he's from Florida, Plies. If you heard about him, he made a song about Trump. Florida rapper, consi- consistent Trump critic Plies released his song "Convicted Felon" in June 2024, just 1 month after Trump was convicted in New York courtroom. So he made one a long time ago. Plies in New York courtroom on 34 counts of falsifying business documents. So that's what it means. What What's crazy to me is from the beginning of time, America has always told you how to treat a convicted felon. Ply stated on the song, now that he's a convicted felon, you want the rules to change. He continued referencing Trump's ability to still run for president despite his legal record. That's why certain things are the way it is now, right? That's why he has pardoned so much people because he's a felon. It makes sense. He's a felon. And yo, like the stereotypes of hip hop, like mother. Remember baby mama? This man has like three of them. And so he has like three of them. So he was cool before he was the president when he had his own show. He was cool then, but he's not cool now, right? He's not cool now because he's doing certain things what a lot of the people in the hip hop community don't like, right? People, please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And that's what's going on. A lot of things. He's crispy. Roy Vowels, you're saying he's crispy right now. Like I'm saying, he's been doing a campaign beefing with a lot of people. He's beefed with celebrities. He's beefing with politicians, other countries, people in his own government. He's beefing with. He's bringing up Joe Biden. He has a beef with. Like I said, Obama. He has a beef with Hillary Clinton. He had a beef with Mr. Clinton. He has a beef with. How much beefs does he have? Right? It reminds me of 50. He's starting to remind me of 50 Cent, and he's using his socials anytime he wants to express himself. He expresses his own self on his own platform every time, right? So today he came on earlier talking about there's there's going to be a big surprise. It's Friday the 13th, people. What's the big surprise? I listened to that, whatever the thing in the White House, and it sounds like to me he's putting out more police on the streets of America. That's what it is. He's putting out more police on the streets of America. So now he has beef with even Americans. He doesn't trust everyone. He's talking about Chicago, bringing up Chicago a lot. So somebody's feeding him some knowledge, and he keeps talking about Chicago, saying, yeah, Chicago has a high crime rate. I know that. But what he's trying to say, he's going to bring some order, law and order. He's saying no more crime is going to happen anymore in America. That's impossible. But he's basically saying no more crime. He's going to stop it. So I think the next thing what he's going to do, like the cartels, get ready for this what I'm about to say. And if you're a blood crip, whatever gang you're part of, whoever you are, this is what's going to happen. You remember the RICO Act? Just look on that, right? This is another thing what he's going to hit. Now, if you are a gang and you are promoting that you are part of this gang, and they have convicted a lot of people for serious crimes already, and they're going to make it like you're a terrorist organization. You get what I mean? They're going to make it like these gangs in America now. It's a way to attack the inner cities, and they're going to do some mass lockups, and I think they're going to bring them to other country. I'm just telling you, this is the future. I think they're either going to use them for war or bring a lot of felons to other countries, right? So get ready for that. This war is not going to end. His beefs, he's going to put other people in it, right? People, please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. His beefs, he's going to bring other people in it. So he's going to probably start taking felons or people who are locked in prison and ship them off to the war, like drafting. They used to do it way back in the days, right? So all his beefs, he's putting America in it. He's putting the military in it. A lot of people are dying over what Trump is doing. Gangs are criminal. Yeah, same thing what he was doing with the cartels, Roy Woods. The cartels is a criminal organization, been a criminal organization for a long time. Are you updated? What are you updated with that, Roy Woods? Are you updated that the cartels is now a terrorist organization and was a criminal organization? So what he's bringing, get updated, right? If you, what you're saying is you, the dumb F, right? That's you. Get updated. What he just said today in a meeting with the FBI, and they're talking about all these charts and the success of Donald Trump, what he has done and helped to eradicate a lot of crime. He's basically talking with the FBI and to the American people that gangs, if you didn't listen to the conference, he was talking about Chicago, for example, and it's a perfect example with a gang riddled city, a certain part where high percentage of deaths happen every year. That's what Trump was talking about, right? So he's going to make gangs a terrorist organization. Where does the gangs get the drugs from? They were getting it from the cartels. You don't think he's doing his investigation? You don't think he's doing his research where all these gangs in New York or Chicago been getting all their cocaine and all their narcotics from? They're getting it from somebody higher, and they're terrorists. So if you are a gang, a street gang, and you're getting your narcotics from a cartel, you are a terrorist too. That's what's coming. Remember what I said, and then come back to me. That's what's going to happen. Cartels weren't always um, terrorist groups. He's beefing right now with the cartels, knocking them out from their money, blowing up boats in the Caribbean, going to Ecuador. So he's getting rich, right? And he's gonna be dying beefing. When you think of Trump, when his day come, any day, person's day could come, but when his time comes, right? People are gonna remember Trump for all the beefing he was doing. That's how they're gonna remember Donald Trump. They're gonna remember Trump for all the beefing he was doing throughout the years, right? That's what's gonna happen. And he's changed a lot of things going after these cartels. So when he's gone, are they going to continue the campaign? Are they going to continue fighting the cartels in South America? Because that's one of his main campaigns. And now it's the war. They're putting two and two together. They're putting the terrorists, right? The cartels, that they both work together. That's what they put. I knew that years ago. This is ancient. I knew that years ago. So now they're gonna put the terrorists, the cartels, and the street gangs what are in America. They're gonna link them all. Where are they getting their trafficking? How they traffic people? How you think they traffic people? They gotta go to a different level. They're going to these street gangs when they're trafficking people. They're going to these street gangs. So they're gonna. What are you saying? You have to go look up the updates with Donald Trump, what he's been talking and saying we're gonna be something big. Something big is he's gonna be doing. And I thought it was something in regards to the war, but he wasn't talking about the war today. Mostly he was talking about America and talking about American security and saying, yo, we're gonna change it. There's not gonna be no crime. I can't believe that shit. I can't believe there's not going to be any crime unless you're going to uh, tell every American that you can't have a weapon, unless they're going to monitor Americans more than ever and say, yo, there's not going to be no crime. That's what he's saying. And unless he's going to put cameras everywhere. Maybe that's a campaign he's going to do. He's going to make it like England or the UK and cameras. There's already cameras a lot of places, but he's going to make it a police state even more with more surveillance. That's the only thing I could think of because he's saying he wants to stop all this crime shit. What's going on? So is he going to go to these neighborhoods? This is what I'm guessing. He's going to go to these troubled spots. What he thinks, and he's going to put surveillance cameras, more surveillance around those areas. So that's going to stop the crime. They could just wear a mask, right? They could wear a mask. Remember that they could just wear a mask. So are you going to be policing constantly Chicago and other places? So this is what I'm saying. He has beef around the world, Donald Trump, and having beef with his own people domestically, right? And people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Yeah, got the invite link up in there. So he's going to keep beefing. So let me look. I told you guys a history of people, especially in the rap game, who endorsed Donald Trump a long time ago, but now they don't like Donald Trump, right? So it says, who else reaching out, showing me who else he's talking about? There's more people, you know. There's a whole bunch of rappers and hip hop artists who have put Donald Trump in their raps. Trump appears, I told you, he was on Fresh Prince, right? He was on a lot of rapper stuff. YG, right? Um, who else? Kendrick. Yeah, Kendrick spoke out against him. You know, Kanye was good with him. Let's check what else. There's a whole bunch. A history. Little Wayne. What about how did that Little Wayne case go? That makes you wonder about Little Wayne. Now, Little Wayne will shut his mouth about. He's not going to talk. The Little Wayne, three more hip hop figures granted. Ah, see, granted. Granted, Lil Wayne, three more hip hop figures granted clemency by Donald Trump. Does it underscore former president's rap connections? So You see this, that he granted people clemency. That's why that Epstein, well, Maxwell feels she should be, she could get clemency from Donald Trump. So this is a story when I guess he got help, Lil Wayne. In late October, just days before the presidential election, almost a year after, federal authorities had seized a handgun from his private plane. This is Lil Wayne. The rapper Lil Wayne spent nearly an hour with Donald Trump at a former President Doral Golf Club in Miami. Damn, that's interesting. Why they knock me out right now? That's very interesting. That's interesting. Oh, he has a relationship with Lil Wayne. So it says, let me see. Two men discuss Lil Wayne's upbringing in New Orleans and budding interest in criminal justice reform. According to Bradford Cohen, a South Florida lawyer who was present and set up the meetings. Oh, he got set up a meeting. See, when you're rich, how you could get help? All right. This rapper just set it up. His lawyer just set it up with Donald Trump. I think they had a very strong connection. Cohen, who competed on Trump's TV, who competed on Trump's TV show. That's interesting. The lawyer was on Trump's TV show. Oh, The Apprentice in 2004, and said the encounter cumulated a smiley thumbs up photo op that the rapper then posted on Twitter. The endorsement that came as Trump's re-election campaign was working to improve his standings with black voters, though he had often vilified black people and frequently sought to divide the country along racial lines. The support from the large, this is interesting. So Little Wayne was a big supporter of Trump. He got to be quiet. He can't say nothing. He ain't talking about politics. If people ask him a question, he ain't saying nothing. He ain't saying nothing, right? What else happened? The support from large artist has met with backlash from the fans. So a lot of artists like him backlash. Less than a month later, Lil Wayne was charged with felony gun possession and he soon pleaded guilty. At the sentencing originally scheduled for later the month, he faced up to 10 years in prison. That sentencing will never come. Early Wednesday, Lil Wayne found himself among 143 pardons and commutations announced by Trump during his final hours in office. He joined three other figures from the hip hop universe, including the Florida rapper Kodak Black, another client, Cohen's Desiree Perez, the chief executive of Jay-Z's Rock Nation. I didn't know that shit. So Jay-Z has to be quiet. I really didn't know that. That's new. Executive Jay-Z's Rock Nation, and Michael Harris, known as Harry O, founder of Death Row Records, has been in prison for he has been in prison for 30 years. So that lady people keep talking about with Rock Nation, he let me read that. Desiree Perez, the chief executive of Jay-Z's Rock Nation, he pardoned her and Lil Wayne, but her. That's interesting. Very interesting. Now the picture's coming clear. Jay-Z ain't gonna get no Epstein investigation. Jay-Z's protected. When they're talking about Epstein, even if he was in those files, guess what? He's cool with Trump. Why would Trump pardon that lady? Now she's in charge of a big part of Rock Nation. How she get that job? The clemency decisions capped a complex what? Often conversations release relationships between Trump and rap that dates back to the 1990s when he was a frequent club goer. I didn't know that. So he was a frequent club goer. Lyrical motif represent wealth and flash. So Trump, you love the clubs. That's why you see him doing this, dancing. Did you see him doing this? He loved the clubs and shit. So, damn, it's interesting. Jay-Z's person owes, Jay-Z can't talk against Trump. That's why a lot of rappers are quiet. I think he helps Snoop too. I think he helps Snoop. That's why Snoop's quiet. Damn. So he said this lawyer is talking. He's in the entertainment world, Cohen said of the former president in an interview on Wednesday. That's when he lost, I guess. Right? They're talking. He got a style that's similar to terms of the way that he carries himself. And a lot of rappers and people in the industry relate to that, saying they relate to Trump. Cohen said, this is Lil Wayne's lawyer. Cohen said that Lil Wayne's looming gun charge, which had been under investigation for nearly a year, was not the reason for his pre-election summit of support for Trump, but to acknowledge that it may have ultimately been a factor in the pardon decision, as thousands lobbied for the last-minute clemency will never. Oh, dirt, 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 people, dirt, dirt, dirt. So either way, I'm not gonna read all of this. He got pardoned, and he probably gave up some money, Little Wayne, like, charity and stuff, maybe, like when you really do your research, all the people you think are against Trump, they're not against Trump. A lot of entertainers are with Donald Trump. A lot of them, especially in the hip hop universe, they're with Donald Trump. So, like I'm saying, right now, Donald Trump beefs with China. Now, do you know why he really put out these tariffs, people? Do you know why Donald Trump put out these tariffs? He put out these tariffs because he's mad at the world, right? He put out these tariffs because he wants to show his muscle. So let's see, Trump's beef with China. Want to know what the beef is? If you don't know, people just think they're going to go to war. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Much respect, Jonathan Thompson. Okay, so agreement between Trump and Exxon turns back on the clock. So they did have a beef. Okay, doesn't know. Okay, let's see the best thing. New York Times. This is where I'm going to get to. New York Times, people, because China and America, well, America, Mr. Trump made the beef. It wasn't like that before. Trump's summit nears, but China doesn't know what Trump wants. Trump's agenda for high-stakes meeting remains unclear in Beijing. Chinese analysts say, while American executives say they haven't been invited along. That's why he's mad at Canada. He's mad at Canada for that reason, right? So, a summit between President Trump and Chinese leader Exxon Jinping, I don't know if I'm saying it wrong, right, that could extend their country's trade truce is less than 3 weeks away. Yet a cloud of uncertainty hangs around it. When is this article? Let's see. Because they still have beef. They had beef from the first term, right? Remember that, the first term. Chinese officials are frustrated by the lack of details from the White House about Mr. Trump's agenda and what deals the two sides could agree on. Chinese analysts say American business leaders, for their part, don't know if they are being invited to join the US president. So they don't know what's going on. Some extent, okay, to some extent, they may just want dealings with Mr. Trump. Looks like he he's prizes being unpredictable and has said he thinks keeping the other side off balance is the secret of winning. That's Trump's game. He does that a lot. The secret of winning. The Chinese government, on the other hand, likes to script every detail of the meeting with Mr. X, that's what I'm going to call him, well in advance. That's the Chinese president, right? Usually planning for this kind of visit. So they have beef. They don't like that Trump is just unpredictable. They don't like how he just wants to just, he's very unpredictable. He'll call a meeting anytime. They like planning, right? They want planning. They don't like Trump's style. We still don't know what this visit will achieve. He said it includes whatever commercial deals. Okay, let's get to the real beef, right? The real beef is Trump was saying the virus. Remember the COVID virus was a China disease. He was saying the COVID was a Chinese disease. He was blaming China for the virus, right? He blamed China for him losing the second election, right? That's what he blamed China for. What else did he blame China for? He blamed China for spying with TikTok. You remember that? He blamed China for spying with TikTok. That's why he was going to ban TikTok. That's why he forced TikTok to sell a good percentage to America. So that was the two beefs, the virus and TikTok. And there's other stuff too, minerals and other shit. But that was the stuff what was promoted the most. The beef was over national security. and drugs too. Drugs because they blame China for the fentanyl, right? They say China is responsible for the fentanyl. If I was to look that up, he says that bravely. China no longer buys U.S. exports, drawing the right lessons. So this was March 3rd. This recently. China ain't buying nothing from America. That's what they're saying. I can't believe that. China no longer buys U.S. exports, drawing the right lesson for the next Trump. What? X deal. That's the president of China. That's March 3rd. That's 2 weeks ago, right? 2 weeks ago. So is that true? No exports? How much people know about this? The US exports to China have fallen sharply, largely due to Trump's trade wars combined with China's economic problems and policies. Without Trump's trade wars since 2017, US exports to China would have been nearly 60% higher. In 2025, or roughly 90 billion annually, China's global in imports have also declined since 2021, while its exports have surged, giving the United States a new opportunity to work with others jointly and tackle the Beijing. So that's what's going on. There's so much. Trump is just fighting wars with China, man. It's too much. It's like a Bible of stuff. So that's what he's doing. He wants to get rich. He's setting himself up for when he's finished being the president. He's setting up his pockets ready. He got to set it up good with China. He's doing all types of changing and tweaking things right now. He's tweaking things right now for his interest. There's so much stuff, financial stuff with China. He's making sure he handles China. Think of it. He's making sure that he handles China properly before he's finished to benefit not just him, to benefit his sons. I'm hearing one of his sons bought some stock, or they put the son's name into some stock recently. People, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Right? So what else beef? I know Don Lemon, that journalist, has beef with Donald Trump. He probably is trying to sue Donald Trump. I guarantee he's going to try to sue Donald Trump too, Don Lemon, because he was arrested by the FBI and stuff like that. So let's see. Donald Trump even had beef, or they're putting it out there. It could be propaganda that he had beef with Epstein. They're putting it out that he had beef with Mr. Epstein. And that's how they're trying to make it look like he's not a part of the whole Epstein case. But that's another story, right? He's getting rich and die beefing. He's gonna get rich and die beefing people. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. So let's see, who else is he beefing with? Who else? Mark Carney. He got beef with the Chinese president, right? I mean, with the Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, right? uh, he, he said a lot of stuff. He's still calling Mark Carney the governor right now. He's calling Mark Carney the governor. He's not calling him the prime minister. And the whole beef is because Mark Carney's probably smarter than him and he can't fool him. He can't bully Mark Carney, right? So let's see. This is the guy, man. This is the guy. Big bully. This is the big bully. Get rich or die beefing. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. It's Friday night live on the Down to Earth Network, right? A lot of things is going on. So it's like, that's what he's doing. Get rich or die beefing. Doesn't matter if he's standing on a lot of debt or death, right? So right now, he told the American people before he went to war with Iran that people are going to die. He's telling he told Americans straight up, people are gonna die. This is war. So he's putting it out there so you don't beef with him. He's saying, yo, people, this is what we got to do. So don't get angry at me when you start seeing a bunch of American soldiers die. He's saying, don't get angry at him because it's war. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about Donald Trump's concept? Is he right or wrong? He's saying, "Yo, this is war and shit." So he doesn't want the American people to beef with him, which they are. There's a lot of people who don't like Donald Trump, but Donald Trump does have support. Let's be straight up. Donald Trump does have a lot of support, right? People voted. If we believe in the voting process, they're saying 70 million people or maybe more voted for him. So that's a good population of people who voted for him. This man, like I'm saying, I seen documentaries of him, especially when it was the COVID before when COVID just hit. I think yes, when COVID just hit, right? The things with the hotels and stuff. There's a guy who had a hotel chain, a whole bunch of hotels, and he went bankrupt. And Trump came in and took over. Basically, Trump took over this man's whole operation. He was a billionaire also, and Trump was the competition. And he buried this guy. This guy got so much. He went from a billionaire to just a simple man. I seen the documentary. His family was in the dark in their house. This guy had hotels all over America, but the difference is he was borrowing the money more than Trump. Trump has, generational wealth. This guy was borrowing the money, and he had these hotels. I forgot. I don't know if it's a hotel, but people pay for them. They actually put a lot of money down for these places. They go. It's like kind of like a cottage. So this guy was part of that business. September 11th happened, and he got hurt, and Donald Trump swooped in with himself, right, and his billions, and took over this guy's company and became rich. Well, he's already rich, but more rich, right? So that's an example how he works. I seen that before Donald Trump became a president. I seen how he was working. And he was beefing, like I said, back in the days with unions or what the mafia and shit like that. He just done it a different way. He used other people, law enforcement, to fight his battles. Right? This man he got rich, and he's getting richer, and he wants to get more rich. And like I said, the title is "Get Rich or Die Beefing." That's business. Yeah, yeah, Albert. Yeah, it's business. He took him. I'm just saying, like, people should not be surprised, right? I agree. But a lot of people, some people are surprised. Oh, look how Trump is. Like, look at his attitude. I can't believe it. He blah blah blah. He's such a bad person. But he's been doing this long time ago. This is not surprising to me. His attitude is not surprising to me. But a lot of people, they're still surprised of Donald Trump. No, no, you have to do some research. Do some research on Donald Trump. He was always like this. He was always like this, even when he was younger, right? That's his MO. That's how he works. He's an actor. He's been acting for a long time, Donald Trump. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. I got the invite link. You don't have to cam up if you want to talk about anything regarding the subject. You are welcome. It's in the description. But yes, um, Mr. Donald Trump does business a lot. And like I said, a lot of people were respecting, gave him respect before he was the president. A lot of people mentioned him in their raps. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump made a lot of people get hits in the hip hop culture. They all used his name, to get, attention in their songs, like it or not. Now that he's like an enemy of the state or America, I don't see too much people making any songs really to, beefing with him. 2020 was the last time, like I said, was Public Enemy and YG. He said F Donald Trump, right? With Nipsey Hussle. And Snoop, he was with the F Donald Trump stuff, but then recently, before, not too long ago, when Trump became the president, I swear this man was at some type of campaign thing performing for him. He could say that, yo, he paid me and stuff. So this is what shows you that money talks and the bullshit walks. Even Snoop was, kind of working with Trump. A lot of these people work with Trump behind the scenes. He helped Jay-Z. Let's be straight up. Not directly, but he helped Jay-Z with the person who runs Rock Nation, right? So he's getting money all the time when he helps people, especially wealthy people. That's who he's helping. He's getting something from it. And I guarantee they're giving donations. I'm guaranteed they're giving donations back because with Nicki Minaj, when she was seen with Donald Trump, they're saying she gave like $100,000 towards some type of something. I don't know if it's charity, but it was a donation of $100,000. And then she spoke, and then she was promoting that she got her, I don't know, her gold card and shit like that. And she done something on TikTok with Donald Trump. So all these people who are pardoned, if you look up the details, they either do charity or they gave some money for something. You get what I'm saying? So Trump tests China's nerves with tariff threats. That's January 27th. See, he kept doing all this shit. Threats, threats. He was threatening Greenland, threatening Canada, threatening the whole world with these tariffs. It didn't work. It backfired on him, man. Having the beefs with all these countries. I can't, there's so much names you could put on the list, how much people he's been beefing with. You don't want him to beef with North Korea, though, right now. Like, come on, calm down with the beefing, right? Just calm down with the beefing. You don't need to beef with North Korea right now because going to Cuba, right? What do you guys think? He should go into Cuba? Well, all of this stuff, isn't it making him tired? I'm wondering, isn't this whole thing making him tired? He's old. Let's be straight up. Donald Trump is old and he's making beefs with a whole bunch of people. Is it a good thing for his health? Is his children saying anything? Right? He's an old man. Let's be straight up. He's not young anymore. He's turning 80 and he's doing all types of shit. Right? The man is creating a whole bunch of drama all around the world. Right? It's crazy. So now, what's new? I guarantee there's something new right now with this man. I know for a fact right now, I'm going to look it up. Trump. New news with Trump and who he's beefing with. Trump. He's always beefing with people, right? So he's going to get rich or die beefing, like 50. So he reminds me of 50 Cent in the hip hop. So already won or I got to finish the job. Trump mixed message on Iran. How long ago? An hour ago? An hour ago. This is interesting. Let's see. Because he talks tough. Trump is talking tough, people. He loves talking tough. Already won or got to finish the job. Trump mixed message on Iran. Okay. So, how the war in Iran. Okay, let's see. I wonder if you guys could hear the audio. Let's see how long this is. Let's see how long this is. It's a couple seconds. Okay. But he says how the war in Iran is going and that the ultimate goal it depends on the day, the hour, and which administration official is speaking at the moment. So he's getting, some advice from certain people, like I said, right? President Trump initially said the strikes continued major combat operations that would likely be over in 4 to 5 weeks. Sure, it's been a while already. But since he's declared that the war is already won, while also saying that the U.S. still needs to finish the job, the operation could end soon, and need the military may need to go further. That's what he's saying. The military may need to go further. So, what is further? He's saying. What is further? Because they're talking about that the supreme leader's son, they hit him, he's still alive. He's calling them scumbags. He said that today. Scumbags. So, I want to hear how he's talking, right? Many Americans, you ain't for this. He's calling people scumbags. So he really is going down to the dirt. Trump administration's decision to strike Iran and enter into a conflict with no solid end date in the early hours of February 28th took many Americans by surprise, coming from the president who campaigned on an American first agenda. Yeah. What about America first? Huh? What about America first agenda? And rallied against foreign interventions. What happened? Emergency? While Trump did address Iran in his State of the Union address, saying the U.S. military had obliterate Iran's nuclear weapon program in June. And they're still fighting them. That was June 2025, people. He did not go to Congress for authorization for the war, and he did not spend weeks making the case to the public. And you know he could get in trouble for that, especially when he's finished being a president. So that's why people who are conspiracy theorists are bringing up the Epstein stuff, saying all of this war is just a cover up for the Epstein files, right? Instead of, so he might get charged later on. He doesn't give a damn. Like I said, he's turning 80. He's basically 80 years old. So he's basically saying, yo, I've lived my life. Now he's just going to do whatever he wants, right? So right now, the World Cup too, that's interesting. The World Cup is coming up, and I think he's anticipating it. Trump's official from LA Olympics, possibly World Cup over unpaid dues. What's going on? What's going on? Even beef with the Olympics? What's next for Trump? Beefing with the Olympics? Shit. He beefs with anybody, everybody, and he won't stop until he's richer than ever. This is part of him lining his pockets. I hope people know. This is for him to line. Please subscribe to the platform, right? When his time is up, when his time is up, right? Because he's trying to hold on to this presidency. When his time is up, will he face all the charges where what he got over? Will Trump face it? Because right now, this is what he's doing. He's trying to get rich, right? Or die beefing. He's probably putting a lot of that money into his children's pockets because he probably knows in the future there'll be some civil lawsuits against him. I guarantee he knows there'll be some type of civil lawsuits or something to get his money. Right now, he's putting it in Barron's, his piggy bank. He's putting it in all of his sons' piggy bank. This man has so much beef with people who are in like business, other politicians, bad mouthing Obama, bad mouthing Clinton's, and he's rich. Remember, Donald Trump's rich. So a guaranteed after he's done his presidency, they're coming for him. You're gonna hear about all of them if they're still around going to court with Donald Trump. All of them. It's gonna be like a shit show. And Donald Trump's going to be like old, even more old, and he's going to act senile. That's what's going to happen. He's going to be in court, and they're going to be charging him for all types of crimes, all types of things. If he's alive, we're going to see that happen. If he's alive. So let's see. People, please subscribe. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Right? So as for comments for this article, White House referred NBC News to a post on X by press secretary. This is old. Okay, I'm not gonna read this shit, but obviously, why did the U.S. strike Iran? Because he said that they would strike him first. That's what I heard. Why did the U.S. strike Iran? Because he just did. He just wanted to have a distraction, right? And he had beef. He's saying that the supreme leader was trying to kill him, right? Or they burned something. Remember, they were burning Donald Trump's in Iran pictures, right? Burning them. So this was his revenge, burning them. Remember Maduro too in Venezuela, how he was dancing, making fun of Trump, got him, right? Then this guy in Iran talking a whole bunch of shit against America and Donald Trump, got him, killed him. And after now, the son is talking some shit too. He's going to go after everybody who's talking shit about him. He's going after the guy from Colombia is quiet. silent. So who's next? Even North Korea, they're being quiet, right? He ain't saying nothing about Trump, right? Talking trash. The majority of Americans are Trump. Then how come people are saying that his ratings have gone down? I'm not saying that he ain't getting American support. Never said that, Eric. I said I'm talking about something else. There is a lot of support for Trump. There is a lot of support for Trump. Tons of support for Trump out there. But you're saying the majority of Americans are for Trump. Maybe they are. That could be facts. You're right. There is a big majority of Americans what are for Trump. But no one wants to say that, right? Because if Trump's making all these laws, for example, the ICE he's putting out there, I'm seeing a lot of Americans support the ICE, right? Black or white. This is the first time I'm seeing black people and white people in America really come together. Yes, you are right. This is the first time I've been seeing black people and white people talking the same language. So you are right. The majority of Americans are for Trump. And now there's a war. Not all of the Americans, let's be fair, but the majority of them are for Trump because I don't see no one protesting against this war right now. Let's be straight up. Let me say it again. I don't see no one out there protesting like how they are protesting against ICE. You got American troops in a foreign country. And where's the protest? Where's the protest? Right? So you probably are right, right? And I agree with you. A lot of the American people are probably for Trump, but there's still a minority. There's a percentage. So just say 200 million Americans mostly approve for Trump, right? And there's 300 and what 35. I mean, there's 135 million more people who don't. So yes, you have the majority, but you still got millions of people who don't approve Trump. So just say you even have 300 million people who approve Trump, most of the country. You might have 35 million people who don't approve of Trump. That's still a big percentage. That's still enough to make a revolution. That's millions. That's like a countries. Some countries don't have 35 million or something like that, right? Finally, it looks like peace in the Middle East. You think so? Is there peace? It's gonna get worse, yo. If America leaves, it'll be peace in the Middle East if America stays fully and put the pressure on. It won't be no peace if they leave, if America's fully gone, because what's gonna happen? I've been seeing Hezbollah attacking Israel because America's with Israel. America is with Israel. I'm seeing Hezbollah attack America, right? So is it better? And they're going to be attacking other places in the Middle East too. These are places Trump's beefing with. He's beefing now with the Islamic world. And now, like Bush, he's at the front stage right now. So the Middle East, is it better? At peace? No, it's not at peace. Sorry, I gotta tell you, Eric, because the place in Afghanistan where America was, they were first. Remember Afghanistan, right? With Iraq, right? Was it better after America came? Right now, do you know what's going on in Afghanistan? The Taliban been fighting with Pakistan, and now the Taliban is enforced that same Sharia law that America claimed that they're going to stop. Remember that? Don't forget Afghanistan. They're back to the Taliban. It's even more stronger. So how is there peace in the Middle East? You hear what I just said? They took out the Taliban years ago, didn't they? Weren't they in Iraq for years? Why is the Taliban still around? If America won and they had all this military might, why is the Taliban still stronger now today in Afghanistan? Look it up. They're fighting with Pakistan right now, right? They're fighting with Pakistan. So what I'm saying now, there will be no peace in the Middle East. It's going to be worse. This is apocalypse style shit, what's going to go on. Iran has 90 million people. The military, you think it's only 100,000 soldiers in Iran? Well, there's probably millions of soldiers. They haven't killed, America hasn't eliminated millions of soldiers. America hasn't gotten millions of soldiers to give up. Think of it. The supreme leader had this country over 40 years. Over 40 years. And Trump brought back up the beef. He even mentioned the beef from way back in the days when a whole bunch of American military got kidnapped and some died and stuff like that. So this is a continuation. It's not going to be that easy. You have unless I'm starting to see the whole military fully give up. And they got reserves too. People who are not fighting, people who are just watching. Remember that. 90 million people, not 3 million. 90 million people. That's a big percentage, for example, of America. 90 million people, right? So they got to try to influence most of that population to overthrow who's in power because that's what they claim. They claim a lot of those people don't like the supreme whatever leader. So why aren't they overthrowing? America should be angry. All the people, no matter what, Republican and Democrat, should be angry at Trump because he's saying it's going to be a fast war. And no, it's not. He's lying to people. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. He's telling people a bold face lie. It's not going to be a fast war. These guys ain't giving up. They might be suicidal. They'd rather die before they give up. So what's going to end up happening is like what he's saying. Death. Trump was saying death. So basically, if it's 5 million people, just say there's 5 million people a part of this military, which there is millions, right? It's not no 100,000 army. There is millions. Probably just say it's 3 million, right? Because a lot of these foreign countries, they just take anybody off the street. Just say 3 million. You probably only killed a couple hundred. America just killed a couple hundred, right? These guys don't care about what weapon is coming. They are under a belief what the supreme leader has put out there. They believe they could take America out. So if they have to blow themselves up, they probably will blow themselves up. And Americans ain't going to be fighting like that. So is this going to end easy? No, because Trump wants the beef. He's saying get rich or die beefing, like the title, right? He wants to get rich and die beefing. So this is going to go beyond his term. This whole thing is not going to end just like that. Because if America was to leave, they wouldn't take out the supreme leader's followers right now. If America was to leave, they'll just transform right back and they'll just keep attacking Israel. Think of it, people, right? America was to leave, which they ain't gonna leave. You can't. You're not just gonna leave somebody in charge in Iran, like Venezuela, and thinking there's not gonna be a civil war. That's what America. That's what Trump wants. Trump wants a civil war probably to break out. You know what the Ayatollah, this new supreme leader, was saying? A message to Americans. He was saying it's not the American people he's against, right? Or they're against. They're against the officials who are running the government. That's what he's saying. He's saying it's not against the American people. He doesn't want to hurt, they don't want to hurt the American people, but it's saying that America has hurt them. So they have to respond in a certain way. So he put that out there. The supreme leader says he doesn't want to hurt the American people, right? So listen to that. So Trump still wants the beef. He doesn't care. He's going after that son too. He killed the father, he killed other leaders, and he's going after the son too. He wants to take out the son from the supreme leader. So this is what it is. Someone told me something. I was talking the other day to a relative, and it made sense, right? I think, yeah, I was talking to my mother, and she was asking about this. She don't have too much knowledge about this, and she sees the news all the time. And she said this, and it made sense. He said, he better be careful. Like I said, does he have sons? I said, yeah, he better be careful. They'll try to hurt his sons, or it's basically his family. So his family has to be well protected too. In this time, look how much attempted assassinations happened to Donald Trump. Think of it. How much attempted assassinations happened to Donald Trump? A good amount. But you never think that they might harm the family, they could take them, hostage. Like I'm hearing they're taking hostages. They already got hostages. This son is dead. Which son? There's no son. All the sons are protected right now. No son, all of Trump's sons are protected. But what I'm saying, he's not thinking, he doesn't care. He thinks they're the most protected. No one could touch his sons. No one's going to touch anybody, his daughters, no nothing. But in this time, how things are going, anything could happen. Anything could happen. There's all these crazies who are going around in America doing things. The other day, like I said, his estate, someone came with a gas canister and a gun. We don't even know this guy's name, right? We don't even know who had beef with Trump, right? We don't even know who had beef with Trump. Who's the person who was at the Mar-a-Lago thing with the gas canister? What happened to that person? What happened to that person? I'm gonna go look that up. What happened to that? See, you see how they do have distractions. That should be a big story. All the Trump assassinations attempts just went under the rug, people. Don't you realize all those attempts? You don't even know the guy who has done it. You don't, I guarantee, I don't even know. We just heard about these assassination attempts, right? We just heard about the assassination attempts. It's crazy. Trump's assassination attempts. There's been plenty of them, too much to count, right? Crazies are everywhere. Damn, yes, they're everywhere, everywhere. But some people think they cannot be touched. Like if you're rich, there's some rich people think, but that's different because you seen what happened to Rihanna's place recently. Somebody came there. See, the social media is making some people think they're brave, yo. They went to Rihanna's estate. This lady who's crazy, clearly crazy, and she let off some rounds. Same thing what happened with Donald Trump's estate in Florida. This person brought something it happened to Drake's estate too in Toronto. They shot it up. Like what the hell? Like it's crazy. Trump survives yet another assassination attempt as war in Iran. So this one was on. Let's see. He's going through a lot of attempts. People are trying to kill him. Trump survives yet another assassination attempt as war in Iran heats up. Okay, so what was that one? Is there a new one? Iran. Oh, this is, I don't know the proof. Where's the proof of this? This is the recent one, and no one's spotlighting this. Iran tried to assassinate Donald Trump, the U.S. Secretary of War has claimed. Now, how? How come the American people don't know really the details of this? In the media briefing delivered on Wednesday from the Pentagon, Pete Hegseth said the U.S. forces hunted down and killed the leader of the Iranian unit that tried to assassinate the U.S. president. He said also yesterday the leader of the unit who attempted to assassinate President Trump has been hunted down and killed. So how? Where? Where did this happen? That's the question I want to know. Like, if this is true, where did it happen? Yes, impeccable. Got my special guest, man, D2E family. Joining. What are you saying?
Yeah, yeah, big man. What you idea with?
You're kind of lagging. You probably have to be in one place. Yes, I'm talking about like obviously Trump and the beefs what he had throughout the years and in regards to hip hop. But I'm talking like for example now, his assassination attempts. You never hear about any of these people. I don't know any of them. Like you would think that they would be talked about. So that's why the so-called conspiracy theorists could say maybe this is all made up shit because I still don't even know the name of the all these individuals. Even the last one, I don't know if you heard about Mar-a-Lago, this guy with a gas can and he had a gun and shit like that. And I swear they say they killed him. I don't know the name. You get what I mean? Like you're hearing about like for example, Rihanna, I don't know if you heard about that story. Rihanna, someone came with a gun to her place and shot it up and stuff like that, and she was arrested. But with the Donald Trump situation, as big as he is, I'm thinking you should know who tried to assassinate him. But then we know the real deal. A lot of this is made up shit, probably, right?
Well, of course, it's going to be a lot of made up stuff about like Donald Trump because remember, they already made a public display during his election campaign of being assassinated at.
Yes, that's what made him become president. Like get pushed more. That's what you're right. You're right. He's getting pushed for that because of the sorrow. People say, "Oh, he survived." Do you remember all the pictures with his hands up in the air, the blood and stuff? So they're saying, "Oh, damn!" Even if you hated Donald Trump, it made you feel sorry for him,
See,
right?
the whole thing with me with this whole Donald Trump, though, brother, is that he's literally doing a whole entire reenactment as president of his TV show, The Apprentice. If you really look at the way how this man is moving and having the media on him, you're basically watching another season episode of The Apprentice where he's playing everybody where it's like, well, if you're
Yep.
not agreeing with me, you're fired. And we're gonna
Yes.
come in and bring the fire. You know
You
what
know,
I mean? Like
you said it perfectly. You illustrated perfectly. That's how he's dealing with the government, like it's the Apprentice. So if you want to figure out his next move, just watch The Apprentice. It makes you wonder the last season. Now we're doing some digging. People should look up his last season of The Apprentice. There's probably some, what they say, Easter eggs in there of what he was planning as his campaign, being a president and future shit, what he would do. I guaranteed I'm gonna have to look up the last season of Donald Trump.
you really have to look at the truth about these people because their patterns of what they have done in history,
Hmm.
as like you've been stating in regards to a lot of the stuff that you've been stating in the video earlier here, in the live, has literally shown like, yeah, this man's pattern is like, yep, basically right then and there for you. Like he used the whole entire Epstein file to get elected. Same thing with the assassination. He used the whole entire publicity about saying we're going to find out about Martin Luther King's assassination to getting like, you, you see, you remember that one there too, and nobody's talking about that right now. You notice that there too. Sorry, I can't even hear you. It's like your volume knocked out.
Oh, and Malcolm X. I had the mic off. Sorry. Yes, and
Yeah,
Malcolm X. The family came out to saying they're suing the government for over 100 million. I done an episode on that. People were listening, but it still went through people's heads. Like, don't you notice there's a pattern of files coming out? Why is there so like it's always a file? The Epstein files. Before the Epstein files and all this shit, it was like what you're saying. It was Martin Luther King files, right?
Martin Luther King
And then
file.
Malcolm X
Yes.
files and JFK.
Yeah.
All those guys from those times he was
Oh,
bringing
and
up.
then speaking about the JFK now, think about how he used JFK's son in regards to like saying we're gonna make everything healthy for
Yeah,
America again.
yeah,
Which part have you heard Kennedy yet? Since the whole entire like, he got questioned about being in the position for
that's
Trump.
true. Because I heard
Then I
Kennedy, that
hear
Kennedy
nothing from
talked
him
against
again
Trump.
still.
He was talking against Trump, that same Kennedy guy before.
He was until he got pushed on Trump's team because Trump was using it again, election time, to making sure him catch all of the people them
I
so that
noticed that's
all
his
angles were
pattern.
covered.
That's his pattern because Elon Musk, the same thing. I think they had beef first, and then after then they
Right?
became
You
friends
notice
and
how
shit.
he teamed up with all the people that were beefing with him to actually get into presidency.
So wait, now I'm gonna say because you might maybe could mark this. Don't you remember when Trump was first the president, when he became first the president, that Snoop and everyone was talking against Donald Trump, and they had the F Donald Trump. I'm gonna ask you,
Yeah,
was Nipsey?
because remember now, he was coming in and doing all the blasphemy towards Obama because he
Yes,
wanted to look better than Obama.
yeah,
So
he was
this is
ripping
what
him
he was
down. Yeah.
doing in regards to trolling. So the black community got vexed with it in America.
So yeah, and now they're quiet more than ever now. But let's get back. I'm gonna get back to that.
Get back to your point now.
Donald,
Yes,
Nipsey Hussle and YG done that song F Donald Trump, right?
exactly. Yes.
Was Nipsey Hussle alive when that I'm trying to remember when that track came out in
I believe
2016.
so, because with
2016.
my crew and everything that he was with GTD and all that stuff, I
Two,
believe around that time before the track was out before he passed away.
okay, I'm getting
Because
to this.
behind the
My
scenes, as you
conspiracy
know, with
back.
the whole entire crew, I was trying to work on getting like the concert tour and everything done with him. So yeah,
Yes,
you
the conspiracy back. So just say Nipsey died after that song, basically, right? F Donald Trump was a powerful song, right? I don't know if anybody's looking on this shit.
it was a very powerful song, definitely out there in the West Coast. And if anybody was really a fan of the West Coast rap, it started to spread big time because, of course, YG, and then with like Nipsey coming up afterwards now. Because remember at that time when YG and Nipsey did it, YG was more the bigger name.
Yes. And what I'm saying, I think it got blowback for that because if you we're getting down to earth about this because later on you hear about that guy Big U, that Crip guy, and him falling out, and people saying Nipsey got bigger than the program. And when you hit check this, good thing you're on there. Here.
Yes.
Big U got locked up not too long ago, almost a year ago, on a whole bunch of conspiracy stuff and thousands of wiretaps. It's like almost the Epstein files, the gangster Epstein files, right? This
Mhm.
guy's still fighting in court right now. And he was linked. You remember that no fly zone? He popularized that you got to check in. That's the guy. I didn't even know. He's the
Oh,
one who
about
was
like the term no
popularizing.
fly zone when people come into the area and everything like that, right?
Yeah,
Or no?
so he's the one, that guy, Big U, the Crip, the leader of the Crip, he's the one who
Yes.
popularized that. And when you look up Big U, he was linking with politicians, he was doing community work, he was doing a lot of shit, right? In California. So I'm saying when this man said
Because that's
F
where
dot,
more of the money and the big players are always out at is California. You're really only dealing with business types and hustlers more in New York.
yeah, so do you think Big U liked that song, F Donald Trump?
Also, the black community, well, black community
Mm.
did love it
But what do you think
because
for I'm thinking when he done that, where I'm getting to, this man was running a big enterprise, illegal enterprise, right?
mhm.
Huge, bigger than we thought. Like as you look into
Of
that
course,
story.
yeah.
So
Well,
by
of
him
course,
saying
like
F Donald
the thing
Trump,
about it, I think Trump or anybody that is of white and seeing that a person that is non-white having such a big enterprise, what's the big thing that you want to do is taking the man out of the game.
yes. So I'm thinking now because they had a disagreement. Maybe
Mhm.
Big U did not want that song to come out. That's where I'm getting to, because if that song
Well,
comes
that
out,
could be the case.
because that man's a blood. Let's be straight up. YG is a blood. This man, the Big U's a Crip. Not saying they don't work
Yes,
together, but I'm putting two and two together. I'm a businessman. Do I want that song to come out? Because it's gonna bring, you know how it got so big.
of course.
It brought the
Because the
government
thing is
attention.
that when that comes out, of course, you're already putting out red flags to yourself with both the CIA and the FBI
And who
in
they looking
regards
at?
to, all right, who's the production? Who's the producers? Who's the ownership behind it? Who has the money that's actually funding this type of like
F
production
Donald Trump.
project to be doing everything in regards to fuck Trump? Because anything that comes in regards to like a derogatory true threat that can be an influence to the masses,
Yeah.
they're investigating it, of course.
And that song was big. So this where I'm putting the
Right.
pieces to the puzzle. After that, F
Because
Donald Trump, he died. I'm not saying, I'm just saying conspiracy. He died. And his whole death is a conspiracy itself right now. Didn't you see what happened recently? I never really checked the story, but I heard about it with his brother Black Sam. They were opening a burger joint in the city, the place where they renamed Crenshaw. They named it
mhm,
Nipsey, right? There's a big
mhm.
shooting. What happened? I heard. I didn't know it was that big. I thought it was just a little shooting, but it was like a big thing. What happened there?
It's never anything really little when it goes out in LA.
It-
Because with the boys that I know out there in LA, like ain't nothing small when it comes out to like shootings. Even if it comes to like even the police going through the neighborhoods, ain't nothing is
mm.
small like how it is
But it
here
was
in
on
like
camera
Canada.
though. That's what I mean. Like it was a big public event. Like
Hmm.
a lot of people were there, and this shit happened. So what I'm saying, the message still is out to, I guess, Nipsey's side or what they're trying to. There's something going on. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Something is going on. And what I'm getting to is, you think Trump didn't know about fuck Donald Trump? I'm
Of
just
course he
saying.
does.
He knew about
Remember, Donald Trump has been an opportunist all of his life, and so he's definitely even used black people in regards for his empire building. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Think about it. The man was paying, like, what's his name there, the comedian, for doing Family Feud because he was actually owning that shit for a while.
hmm You're talking about what's his name on Family Feud? Steve Harvey. No, not
Yeah,
Steve. Steve Harvey. Yeah,
Steve
yeah,
Harvey.
yeah. So right
Like
now,
Steve Harvey was on his payroll, like
yeah, and
literally.
I'm not surprised because earlier in the episode I was talking about the pardons, and man, that's why, yo, brother, it's good to read because
Thank
a
you.
lot of stuff when you read, you unpack stuff as much as there's social media. When I was reading on the pardons, the details, you basically they paid off. They kind of like you have to put a donation to kind of get out of your situation. Really.
That's basically how America works in regards to having somebody staying locked up or even being silenced. They
Mm.
want currency for
Yes.
their freedom.
Yes.
Basically, look how it's being played out right now with even Tory Lanez. Not to change the subject
Yeah. Yeah.
away
Go
from
ahead.
the like Trump, but Trump could have literally gave pardon to Tory Lanez being out because all the evidence is basically there to showing that Tory Lanez is innocent.
He
But
could,
no,
but there's a beef there. The only reason, right? Normally, okay, Meg, because Meg was campaigning for what's her name, his enemy, Camilla. The only problem with Screws Tory, I want you to guess who he has. Like, it shouldn't be that, but guess why? Because he's Canadian and he has beef with Carney, who's a Canadian. If it wasn't for the Canadian shit, Tory probably would get a pardon. Think of it.
probably.
He's
You
gonna
know what I
use
mean?
that as a tool. Like, yo, I got your Canadian superstar locked the hell up and shit. But maybe he might soften up if he knows the story more. That Meg was the one voting against him. You know, if they push that campaign, I'm putting out a gem. If they push that campaign that she was
That's
against
just for
him,
the campaign. That's all it really
he
comes
would have
down
got
to.
out. He would have been out of
Because
jail.
then it changes the whole entire perspective in regards to the people's perception of
Yeah.
Megan. But
Yes.
until
So
that, because remember, that's how America is literally built off is on media perception.
you said it good. I like what you just said there. It's built off, and that's bad. That's kind of insulting a lot of Americans'
I
intelligence,
don't give a damn how insulted they want to feel
but it's
about it.
off of a media perception.
That's all they live off of is media perception. You can go anywhere in the United States and that's what they live off of. Now I'm not going to say that Canadians are not too far off from it either because yeah man, we got a lot of like CBC and global enthusiasts,
Yep.
you know, that want to re-ingurgitate anything that's being done on the damn media stuff out
Mm.
here. But back with the whole Trump thing and the whole beefing thing, like he's really somebody that is just basically the trolling for this whole entire like white power thing and all that that's going on.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
if we
Yep.
really look at it,
Kind
that's
of like
all it is.
50 though. He's like that's why I'm
Yeah,
saying the
50
attitude
is
is
the
like
black version of the whole trolling shit out here.
yes,
That's what it is.
yes, and his works, social media. He got his own social
Because
networks.
and that's what it is because America feeds off of the trolling thing because the person who's in some type of shape of power
Mhm.
when they're trolling, it makes them feel like they're doing something American patriotic like.
Yes, yes, I get that all the time. I get that all the time. Some of the MAGA people, they'll come in here in the chat and they will say Trump is God, but they can't tell you what he's done like in detail, really good for America. They'll just say Trump is God and
Like
all
that's
this
my whole thing
other
to
shit.
all of them. Like when people ask me, when people are saying like, "Why are you so much against Trump?" I'm like, first of all, he's lied about everything in regards to the Epstein files, Martin Luther King files, Malcolm X files, and whatever thing that he said in regards to the election. He used up, as we spoke earlier, Kennedy Jr. in regards to like against the vaccination stuff so that he can still be elected. He then promised everybody again another piece of lies that he's going to fix the economy and Americans and people are not going to be paying so much money, but then slaps down tariffs where it's now on the American people and the people across all of around the world finding extra money now to be paying out because of tariffs. Then now you come and do a war in all of these places, And none of your billionaire brethren are actually financially literacy smart, where the government has put money aside so that the people them do not feel the pinch or the pain of the gas prices while you're doing a war. But yet still, yeah, you're doing a great job for us, Mr.
A
President.
great
Yeah,
job. Somebody wants to
you're
curse, but the
doing a
word ain't going
great
through, man.
job.
It ain't going through. People, please like, subscribe. Yeah, he's doing a great job. It's funny though. It's kind of funny, right? Anybody with intelligence is gonna see like it's like a
You're gonna
show.
see it for the obvious and then being like, come on. That's why I laugh. I have a meme that's ready where it's like, you be looking at Trump supporters all skeptical and being like, so you know that you voted for this, and be like, no, we didn't. We weren't voting for this. I'm like, yeah, you did because you voted for him. That's what you did. So the minute you vote, you're an idiot.
And yo, it's a nightmare. I believe a lot of MAGA people are all of a sudden saying, "Shit, what do we do? This guy's doing too
No,
much."
brother. I've been quietly asking a lot of the people them.
We have to laugh because it's true. We should be
You
laughing.
have to laugh because literally, as you know, that when I was speaking out and everything, it's so funny that a lot of these Canadian people that self-proclaim about be calling freedom fighters, and when Trump is now coming back into office again, see them, yeah? Yes, Trump is gonna fix even things out here in Canada. You remember all them talk there? Yes, Trump is gonna make sure that Canada's all right. And you know,
That's
all of
funny.
them things there. And I'm sitting here like, but we at see, huh? What does Trump really give a damn about Canada for?
He only wants the land. No. Now he's saying
Because
51st
this
state.
is the
Yeah.
next thing, like I try to tell everybody. The whole thing is that America cannot produce nothing for themselves anymore.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
This is why they're doing all the wars.
It's a way to take real estate. It's a monopoly, right?
It's a natural resources war, and it's
Economic.
all in regards to actually getting the countries all together in trading in the US currency
Mm-hmm.
so that that 2030 agenda for the banks
Mm-hmm.
of the world digital currency
Yep.
comes into play so that it can actually squeeze out China
Yes.
and Russia.
Why do you think he's taking all the oil? He's going to like the rest, whatever's
Because
remaining.
that's their main producing of trading in regards to currency is
Mm-hmm.
oil for America.
So he beefs with Venezuela, takes them over. Beefing with
He
Iran
goes
never
into
fully took them
beefing with
over.
Venezuela to take over because Venezuela, when they actually cut them out, were exporting a lot of their oil out to either China or Russia.
Mm-hmm.
America wasn't getting nothing really back.
Yes. Yes.
After
Because
all the years that Exxon, the US company, was already extractivating out of Venezuela and not putting nothing back to the Venezuelan people.
yeah. And that's why
That's
he's
the
doing all of
actual
this shit.
truth.
But that's why Trump's doing all this thing. He wants to capture
That's
there.
why he's doing all of this bullshit and talking about cartel and all of that stuff when they're the same ones that are funding the damn cartel through the CIA and the FBI to actually overrun the country there right now because the cartels are the only ones feeding back the people them
Then yo,
because America's been teething out from Venezuela
the
all
other
this
day,
time.
I swear, and there's things was posted, but I believe this. They're saying the ISIS and the Al Qaeda was America created by America,
Of course, all of them were actually funded by American like CIA agents.
and it made sense when they're talking about.
Any country that is trying to develop themselves independently,
Mm-hmm,
and I'm going to tell you this as
mm-hmm.
well,
That's up, Rudy.
because they did it also to Jamaica, they
Mm-hmm,
did it to like all the Caribbean countries, and it's a practice.
mm-hmm.
What happens is that any country that gets their independence and actually wants to grow and being independent, they go in and attack them
Yeah.
so that they don't gain that independence. They don't build up the economy and the people them strong enough so that they don't need the US currency
Yes.
as a trading partner. They do not need the influx of the imports of the United States coming in or from China or from Russia. So this is what all these countries have been doing to countries that actually would like to have their independence and develop.
Mm-hmm.
They've been attacking them any way, which way, and forward.
Like
So
Burkina.
if they can get the funding through the American currency, that ain't going to happen.
But you're
If they
right.
can get,
Yo,
yeah,
you just said it because recently this new news. which, like I said, they have distractions around the world. Burkina Faso. I don't know if you heard, right?
Yeah, I know.
That America made a deal, and this man is the man who's fighting against everything with Burkina Faso for a health pro type of contract or program. So this is what they're saying. It could be propaganda, but this is what is
After the amount
said.
of times that these guys are actually trying to assassinate him so that they
So
can
maybe
actually
this,
get back ownership
but
of the
maybe
lands
what
and
you're saying
everything
about
there.
the American dollar. Remember what you're saying? Maybe he's
Yeah,
thinking,
they use the American dollar because remember they market it so well
mhm,
that that is now the world kind of trading currency.
yes,
If you really look at it, it's
yes,
not really the UK dollar, it's not the yen,
no,
it's none of those. Remember now, they worked on the whole entire currency around the world to
hmm,
actually operate around the US currency.
yes, and he
That's
knows
why
that.
they attack with the oils and the natural resources like fruits and vegetables in other countries too as well. That's why Dole, Del Monte, all of them. You ever notice that it's not they're owning all their like farmings
Yep,
outside of America?
yep,
They
yep.
don't own really anything of farms in America.
Yeah, what does a remember for years? Let's continue. I'm going to continue what you're saying. I'm going to piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
Didn't we hear for years China was owning property in America?
At one point in time, yeah.
I
Because
remember.
when they had
Correct me if
the
I'm wrong.
immigration of the immigration of their immigrants in regards to building like the railroads out here in North America, it was almost like a contract
But what I'm saying, not
agreement.
that far. Like I
Not
know
that
that.
though, but that's more out here in Canada. Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones who've been buying corporations. Like I swear I heard that in the early 2000s. Say, oh, China. Do you know China owns all of this like real estate in like just say
Well,
New
that's
York?
what China has been doing in regards to like ownership, and same thing with Russia, because Russia's been doing the same thing when it happened down in also Jamaica in regards to the bauxite.
Hmm. So how much people know that China owns a lot of real estate in America?
Not many people actually know that. No.
Because I know I'm not going crazy. I used to hear this all the time. Like, yo, when like I've been like, you're in conversations with people about like the world. They're saying, do you know that China owns all this property in America, or Saudi Arabia owns all this property in America? So people wake up, wake up. It's not. It's like a game in front of you. These
Yeah.
America.
But it's basically almost like a small trade-off. But what it is that they are getting small, like, what would I say now? Ownership of already owned property. So it's like they're getting ownership on land that is still being done by the white owners, but the white owners now are coming into their land and getting ownership of the land though. The same way how like native people would say back in the history, oh, when the white man came here, we
Let's
had
go.
land,
Kango Coop.
right? When the native people would say when the white man came here,
Mm.
we had land and they had book. Now we have book and they took our land.
Hmm. So, like I'm saying, who's the next beef? Like I'm saying, this whole beefing thing is to
The
get him
whole
more
thing in
richer.
regards to the beefing is like when it comes to the United States right now, they're gonna beef with any country
Is it
that they
America
can
or is it Trump?
actually.
We could say it's Trump. Peace and
It's
blessings.
not
Much
really
respect.
Trump. Like Trump is really like what I try to tell everybody. Trump is more basically like the pawn on the chess table. It's the bankers
It's the bankers. But isn't the Epstein files going after some of these bankers? That's what I'm saying. Like,
because the bankers are with the Epstein files, bruh.
so that's why we're not hearing about no more files being released.
Because
That's
the
why there's this
bankers
war
are
shit.
definitely behind it.
And that's
Yes,
why there's all this war stuff going on and all these distractions
exactly.
because they're trying
So,
so hard and
see,
desperate to hide them. Right?
yep, he's right. The IMF. Now I
Yes.
showed it to your brother
The
and
IMF, he
also
said.
to Uncle Bino. I
Yes.
have a documentary
Yeah.
that's on DVD
I had
and
one too. I think I might have watched the same one back in the day. The
called Life
IMF.
and Debt.
Yes.
And it
Yes, I watched
shows
that.
you how the IMF and the World Bank
Yes.
destroyed Jamaica.
Hmm.
And it shows it to you through a way of like showing white people that when you are a tourist and you're coming into Jamaica, this
Yeah.
is what you're going to see. But what you don't see is how your own government has destroyed our people them, and this is why they are like looking like to you guys refuge, but they don't have no worry at all because they can't escape the trouble that they can get out of from your own country's doing in our country. So this is how America's always been working it. And he's right too, the Vatican, because that's the next lying piece of shit there, right there. Yeah, you went Mike, you went mute again. You went mute. I can't hear you.
He's, oh, sorry, I cut out. He's right. The Vatican. I'm glad that he brought it up.
That's the
Kango,
next
right?
truth. Because
Because
how is it that we all want truth, but the Vatican keeps it secret?
and the Vatican, before all these Epstein files, they were, we know for a long time, my research, that's why people said Bun Rome, right? Bun Rome, you always hear Bun Rome, is
Yeah,
because they're dealing with the colonization, and not just the colonization, is they were known to be abusing children, or allegedly. There's been a whole bunch of stories of Roman whatever the cardinals and all of them abusing children, way before
yeah,
all this Epstein shit. So that
yeah.
alone, they got away
But
with
that's the
murder.
whole joke thing about the Epstein list is that you had reports about about the Epstein list from time when the man was alive, and y'all did nothing. So
Mm.
what is it all big about the Epstein list now? Is what I've always been saying to everybody.
Yes,
What is
yes.
big about it now when you
What's
could have had the man arrested, lock up,
But they did
serving
arrest him.
time,
They did
all
arrest
of
him.
them things? Huh?
They did arrest him, and then he got released. Remember that he was arrested in 2000, I think 2008, right? From one
And
charge.
why would he get released? Because yeah,
The
he has
government had
people
a
them
deal
in
with
his
him.
pocket to get him out.
Yeah, the government made a deal with him. That's what
Thank
was
you.
controversial. And then he was released for 10 years later. What? 10 years later, then he got arrested again. You know this man,
Because
he
he
goes
has
deep.
them in his pocket.
Yeah, and he was working for, I believe he was working for some, like
They
he's,
said that
you
he
know,
was already working for the CIA, so he already had inside information.
he says it's the
Yeah,
nuns too. Yes, people forget
yeah,
about the Vatican and all their crimes, what people been bringing up.
exactly.
No one's talking about that. But Trump now in America, they got the Pope. Remember that. People forget this is a very important time. War and what represents America now? They actually have the first American Pope. I'm just saying. I don't care about that, but that's a message, isn't it? The Pope is American. I'm just saying.
Because America wants control of it. And America did get control of everything. Because literally after the Second World War, America and the winners of the war in Europe got together and started to do the World Bank and the IMF. And what happened was that the US currency was actually being used for the rebuilding of Europe this whole entire time.
You're right. You're right. You're right. But then they had the revolution shit, like back in the day too, right? That revolution, UK broke off. What they make it look like they broke off, like they're not together, but they're really together
But
and
that's
shit.
all
Like
being funded by US currency because it became now the number one currency being used worldwide because that's what the Federal Reserve wanted. They killed anybody and got rid of anybody that was going to be in the way of the US currency not being number one. Because remember, Lincoln used it to actually fight off the British to actually give America their independence.
you see that, people, you guys getting some knowledge. But yeah, Revelations already says that Satan's beach. Now, like I'm saying, like America's with Israel and they're beefing with all the Middle East. And some people might not believe in religion, some people might, believe in science. But in the religion part, like I said a couple of times, this is Israel's prophecy. This whole fight and war, like growing up, even people reading the Bible or Revelations, it has Israel fighting against, I guess, people who are attacking them, right? Even though we know the real deal, we know the real deal.
I know
Trilateral union.
people out here continuing on spiritual wars about this religion is better than this religion or that religion is better. Not one of them is a better than either one. When I really look on it, not the one is better than any one of them.
But what
Because
I
when you look back on history, you
mm,
still got Catholic and Christianity that
mm,
actually, uprooted people from where they actually live and still have them displaced with no running water in those areas. You still had Christianity that was practicing slavery on certain people and living off the benefits to this day with it. But you want to talk about slandering to about Islamic faith when Islamic faith was actually the reason why Black people were actually given the chances to actually read out here in North America and actually defended certain cultures out here in North America so that they wouldn't still be under slavery through
what you
a
saying?
Christianity.
It says what it says. God doesn't like or like at religion. Wrong.
Exactly.
People
He
going
never
back and
did.
forth.
God
It
was
says
never about religion. All he
Babylon
cared
is
about was
Rome,
his communication with you and him and a purpose.
right?
It was never about religion out here.
But you hear what Trump's gonna do? I think May he wants to make it like God's Day or something. Says he wants to bring back religion or faith to America. That he's gonna have
Yeah.
this
You want to
faith
bring
type
back religion
campaign.
while you're bombing up other people. What part of faith is that in regards to religion to like God then?
That's what he's promoting. He's promoting like some type of special campaign that he wants America to go back to God again and shit like that. So
Well then stop bomb up people then Stop defaulting people them natural resources. Start working with people instead of trying to rule them.
he's
How
trying
about
to
that?
he's trying to do all of this before his deathbed. I think he's trying to think of it now. It's like me and my brother was talking earlier. This man is 80, like all the shit what he does, but he's turning 80, so he's thinking, hey, I'm filthy rich. I want to go out in history. I don't care what anybody says. I'll do anything. Like you know how somebody
That's
will
what it
just
is. He wants to go down in history as like the biggest name for American history
yes,
revolution.
yes, yes, yes.
Like I told you, it's literally the Apprentice show for attention for this man. That's it.
So yo, the bad thing about it is how he's putting American citizens in danger. Even if America thinks their military is super, the most best in the world. Like when you have a leader who's been attacked, and well, the leader's supreme leader's dead, and the son, right? His father's dead. I heard his wife, all his children are gone, and he survived the attack. Do you think he's gonna give up? I'm just saying, or he's just
Why
gonna
would
go.
I want to give up after you come in and kill off my family? You're acting like I'm not going to be patriotic like some of these Americans when you come in and kill my family. Like I don't want to massacre every single one of y'all. Who the hell is you? You ain't God.
That's what I was saying. And there's millions of the followers. They think it's gonna. He's talking like it's gonna be easy. They're just gonna. It's gonna be a couple weeks. Yo, besides me saying it, inform them. There's 90 million people in Iran.
And then imagine now too, they have the son, and then
Yes,
whatever that son is, whoever's associated with the son, them and their families are gonna be vexed too. Them and them families are also gonna be vexed too. That'll be like if you got like think about it right now. If somebody hurted a family member of yours right now, you're gonna come to me and be like, yo, Jamal, somebody put their hands on my youth them. You ready? I would have been like, listen, I are lock and loaded, let's go.
that's what I'm saying. And like I'm saying, I think the education for the whole military stuff, because I seen the other wars, what was going on with the Iraq war when I was younger, and all. I keep informed, but
Yeah.
we seen Iraq what happened. We seen Afghanistan is back to Taliban. They never won anything in Afghanistan because it's back to Taliban rule. Iraq, we don't know really what's going on there, but it's not perfect. But they think they're gonna go into this place what had a military for years, and that's basically training for years. That's all they've been doing mostly, besides their religion, and that they're just gonna give in these people who have these high positions because he's saying, "I'm sending an ultimatum to all of you guys to give up." Think of it. Why would you give up and want to be in Iran? If you're the enemy and you're saying 80% of the people are against the Supreme, right? This is what I broke down with my pops the other day. If it's 80%, that's not 100%. So isn't that like 20 million or 30 million, almost 30 million people out of whatever, still good with the
See,
supreme leader?
the whole entire thing again is that the media spinned on it in regards to the regime out there in Iran. So of course now it's U.S. currency funded in regards to that whole marketing campaign for it. Because I literally have been seeing literally a whole bunch of Iran women where yes, the laws out there in regards to women's right in Iran was definitely poor. I can say that. Yes. They didn't really have like, respectable rights for as a human being in somewhat shape or form for the Iranian women out there. I can say that, right? Cool. The problem is that they're all thinking that America came in here to taking out the regime and that they're now going to still have their Iranian culture continuing on out there, not realizing that it ain't going to be that anymore because once America comes in and acts like they're the hero, they now dictate and start setting up their laws because they were the hero for you because you didn't do it your damn self.
They're gonna bring it back
Idiot.
to how before it was, because when you look up the history, they were like Americanized way back in the day. You get what I mean? There was the king who was there. They installed the king. If you look up the history, it's kind of dirty. The king was installed way back in the day. They took out the native people who were there, right, and put a king. And after that, king ruled for 40 years, and then the same these same people, the supreme leader, was building up from the revolution against the king from the what the fifth of what the 40s or 50s
Yes.
60s, and then they took them out, and then that group ruled from 79 up until now.
See, what America does is that any type of like ethnic group outside of America that is getting strong enough in regards to an influence over the people, they now declare them as terrorists, right? Because just like the Al Qaeda's, all of them other type of stuff before, they literally do that because they know that these type of people are not going to go along with what they want to see economically or for their people. They're against anything that America's trying to bring in fully and ready defensively.
So I'm going to tell you now, because he's fighting against his own people too in America, about
Yeah.
his announcement today with the FBI, a big show, basically saying he was spotlighting the violent cities. One was Chicago as an example, and basically saying we're going to start concentrating over there. I was telling people a month ago how he gave ICE more powers and surveillance power. So they want to say, how is he going to stop crime? He's saying, now for all, we're going to stop crime for sure. No more crime. And we're saying, oh, me and my brother, that's ridiculous. Me and you, it's ridiculous
I don't
stopping
believe
crime.
that he is going to stop crime at all because you know that the man actually like erased the police brutality records before he even actually like put together ICE. So anything that ICE has been doing, these guys have been going outside of the actual protocol in regards to what they're doing and arresting or even
Mm,
harassing
yeah.
people for no reason
Yes.
because there's no laws in regards to what ICE is doing.
Well, ICE, now that's what they build a foundation now, that ever since the stuff in Minnesota was going on, right? And people was complaining and seeing how they unalived two people. Now that's quiet. When they said they need to wear body cams, not too long, a week after, I seen an article saying that ICE now is looking to hire agencies, software agencies, to do more surveillance on the American people. People don't listen to words. Even Vance, before at the beginning of the campaign, when they're doing that thing to get rid of the illegals, he said they asked him a question. They said, "Okay, besides you guys rounding up these people and knocking on doors," he said, "Oh, we're gonna go on the internet too." He said, "Yeah, we're gonna use that.
Because this is
We're
the
gonna use
thing with
that to get
America.
people."
America feeds off of people fighting against one another. And it's like what my guy there is saying, like crime is cash. So as long as you can have people fighting amongst one another, you're making the justice system or their so-called justice system profitable.
Yes, yes, yes. You're right.
And that's what it's all about. It's literally in regards to making profit off of people's stupidity, labor,
Hmm.
and lack of education.
It's bad because that's what he's saying. I heard this time and time over again. What my brother was saying. If you want to, Americans will believe anything they see on TV,
Of course, they all do.
right?
And the problem is that Malcolm X told everybody that if you believe anything on TV, you're an idiot because TV will tell you that the hero is the villain and the villain's a hero, and you're gonna believe it. And that's what I've been seeing, literally hook, line, and sinker from ever since Trump has been like doing all of this campaign. And it's true about like what they say. Journalism and everything in the news is that if you repeat a lie good enough, people are gonna believe that it's the truth and don't question it.
That's why they got social media under control, especially not all social media, but I gave an example, and I think people are deafened about the TikTok. That TikTok, I don't know if you remember, there's an update where they outline all of the stuff in America, how basically you have to give up everything, your location, your name, your religion, your color, your sex,
Yeah.
the list goes on. And then I said, wait, let me look this up. 200 million Americans are on this shit. And after then you look more up. You see how the Chinese guy basically got hustled. He got hustled and lost his most of the company to America. And I don't know if it's
Because
true. They're
they
saying
want control in regards to the algorithms and information in regards to their own people. America wants information on their own people to actually target their own people. They don't want outsiders to be targeting their people. They rather be doing the targeting themselves.
it's true, man. All I know, yo, the beef shall continue. I don't know who's next. So I'm guessing it's Cuba. What do you think about that Cuba situation?
I don't even know too much about it, honestly. What's going on with that right
They've
there
been
now?
starving for months. Ever since the Venezuela thing, they remember the Venezuela thing. They're saying it was Cuban
Oh yeah,
soldiers.
because they cut out the Venezuela. Yeah, when they did that, that's what I'm saying. Like what they did was actually attacking the communist countries in regards to the trading of the oil. So that's why now it's affecting then Venezuela. That's like just common sense with everything else.
No,
That's why
because the
now China
Cubans.
and Russia are definitely are trying to fight back and
Mm.
using whatever tactics to gain back control of oil in there. So that's why there's
Well, they got
always
the
going to
control
be an
of the oil
internal
in
war.
Venezuela. What I'm saying is, I remember when he took over Venezuela, he said, "Oh, no more for Cuba." He said all of that
Yeah,
stuff is stop for you because he's saying that Cuba is extorting Venezuela. And when they
no.
went there to attack, he said it was Cuban, so like
No, it's been America always been doing it the entire time. It's just that when Cuba was getting their share of the oil, they didn't like it.
mm, and that's why he made them starve. Canada had to come in, to feed Cuba. That's how they're
Exactly.
not showing you what's going on really down there, eh?
No, they're not really trying to show you because I even had a lady that's out there in America near the Florida area, and they're trying to tell me right now that they're having a water crisis out there in Florida. Florida,
Mm, a water crisis.
Florida, the state of Florida. How much
We're
water
not
is
hearing
that
about
shit
that.
surrounded by, Aya?
We're not even hearing about that. Really, too tough. We're not hearing
All
about
right.
that.
But
You
that's what
see?
they're right. They're trying to report down there in Florida. So this is how America media gets everybody like brainwashed.
Yes, yes. They're doing it really bad because, for example, now when I was talking about the TikTok, it was linked to the ICE, basically saying if any political talk is on that platform, it will be marked. And basically, they could come and you'll be watched more than ever because they have more control of that algorithm now. That America has piece of that. Because remember, they're accusing China spying with this. This was
They're
the beef with
always
China.
going to accuse China to make themselves look like the hero. Come on now,
Yes,
brother.
no, but
The anti
that was
vil
the
the,
campaign
the
though.
villain
Remember,
is always going to paint somebody else as the, as the villain so that they look and get the perception by the people that they're the hero, but really they're the ones that are doing the whole entire fuckery.
that was the campaign they were using though. You remember that
Yeah.
was the campaign they were using.
But tell me if that's never been a campaign you haven't heard before when it came to Saudi Arabia. Tell me if that was
Yeah.
not the same campaign when it came to like the Gulf War.
Yep.
Tell me if that's not the same campaign when it came to like any other war that they've actually been stating. I don't think Cuba's scared at all. But yeah, Sean, your microphone went off again, yo.
Oh shit! Sorry, it's off. He says, "Ebony Blaze." You probably seen a note talking. Cuba's not scared though. I think Japan or China dare Trump to mess with Cuba. I love your podcast, brothers. Much respect, man. So he's saying Cuba's not scared though. Yeah, I've been hearing that
They're
from my
not.
pops. I've been hearing
They're
that from my
not.
pops. They're not scared, and they're
They've
close
never
to
been
America,
scared of the United States at all. Why do you think Cuba's still standing there like as they are from all this time, Aya?
and they're close
Come
to
on now.
America, right?
They don't business what America wants to try to do, Aya. They've never been scared, Aya.
The whole
Look how close they
campaign
are to America. If America wants to start something, they know that they're done for because whatever Cuba sends over, it's a quick lick.
That whole campaign though affect Jamaica because I heard Jamaica stopped their medical whatever contract or relationship with Cuba.
All right.
50
So, like with
years.
the documentary, what
Mm.
happened was that Michael Manley went to the United States when they got their independence to actually try to get like funding through the IMF and the World Bank, right? But America was actually lowballing in regards to the offerment of the money and also putting restrictions on what the money can actually be done for Jamaica. So what Michael Manley did was that he went to Cuba and Castro and said, "Look, I need help for us to building up our economy so that we're not going to be dependent on all this stuff." So that's what Fidel Castro did. He sent in doctors, nurses, teachers, all of that into Jamaica. And that pissed off America because you had a communist country now working with Jamaica in regards to getting their independence. So what happened was now America with the CIA and the FBI started funding the political parties for the battleship. And that's why Michael Manley started to look like an idiot in the public eye because, and then he had to succumb to actually taking the agreement from the World Bank and the IMF because that's what America was doing behind the scenes to fucking over our own damn country.
And now that's what Jamaica's in pressure now because they have ended a contract because they feel America's going to go there. It must be that. They
Well,
feel
the thing
Trump's
is
going to go
that
there.
Jamaica is in so much debt now through the World Bank and the IMF is that they're basically operating under an IMF ruling, but
Mm,
they're not in an agreement with the IMF anymore. And if you
mm.
really look at the way how the dollar is set up, almost you could call it almost literally saying like 55 cents to 60 cents of the dollar is going back to the IMF or the World Bank out of Jamaican dollar. So Jamaica is only seeing 40 cents out of their own dollar going back to their people, them. Aya.
That's bad. That's bad.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is how America's been doing it to all the countries, them. This
Well,
is what they're gonna do to Iran. This is what they've been doing to Venezuela. This is what they're gonna do to Saudi Arabia. And then when they put it all together in regards to the world digital currency,
mm.
that's what squeezes out China and Russia.
So do you think it's a show that the Democrats are like, they hate Trump what he's doing and like they're
No.
beefing with Trump and shit like that?
This whole entire bullshit about like left wing, right wing is that idiot talk thing because you need both wings to make the bird flap and fly.
Yeah. It's
So
true.
they literally do it as a next type of distraction to making you think that, yeah, they're really against Trump. But they have to do that so that people fall for like the whole entire like battleship in regards to like, let's get something like, get them riled up.
Hmm.
Let's get into their feelings.
Yeah.
Let's get them to react.
Yeah.
That's what all politics is. It's a big time distraction for you to react to what they are doing.
Because all the beef what they've been doing, I've been seeing evidence of Republicans and Democrats working together,
They're
you know?
they've always been working
No, they
together,
always,
brother.
but it showed like in the media the votes, that whole vote stuff to stop the
Yeah.
first tariff stuff with Canada. It was six Republicans with Democrats who voted against Trump to stop that shit. And then I think even in the other thing, when it was the Supreme Court now, before he brought back up the tariffs, I think it was some Democrats and Republicans worked together to try to block him again. So obviously, we're right what we're saying
All of
there.
it is a bullshit imaginary system for
Mm,
people to still thinking that, yeah, we have some type of true leadership or some type of real choice in the matter of like having true leaders out here. And we
mm.
don't. That's the whole thing about it in regards to the Republican, Democrats, and then out here in Canada with the liberals and the conservatives. It's
Mm.
all a fucking bullshit game at antics.
I've been
They're
saying it.
both working together.
I've been saying it. People, please subscribe. Bring up the likes if you can, man. I've been
Yeah.
saying it. Even to my pops, they're saying, "Yo, this election stuff with Trump in America and the presidents, I don't believe it. I think it stopped at a certain, maybe a certain period of time. They just start putting people
They
in power.
stopped a long time
Long time
ago in
ago.
regards to like the true battleship, in regards to like making what's best for the countries. They're literally all in the best interest in regards to who can actually squeeze out the most dollars for the bankers. That's
Mm,
what the government systems are all about. Because if
yeah.
you really look at it, look how many of the laws and everything out here are not even protecting anything in regards to humanity. They're not really protecting anything to the justice of our youth, them.
Hmm.
They're not protecting anything in regards or defense in regards to even the veterans that actually stood up and defended for our rights out here. They're rolling in our graves, Aya.
You're right. You're right. You're right. That's what's
We
exactly
literally
going
are
on.
now having marches that are now being set up literally across North America in regards to protecting children because the way how Trump fucked up over everything with his Epstein files and ain't nobody getting locked up yet out of all of this child trafficking and fucking denomination satanic bullshit, that parents are now literally going to be marching and protesting all over across North America coming April 11th in regards to all of this bullshit.
And no one's arrested yet for the Epstein shit. And
You
the
see what
Epstein
I'm
stuff,
saying? So
the
this
Ep-
is now letting you show you right now that parents literally have to take accountability right now that we cannot trust a failing government or educational system in regards to protecting our youth them out here. Fuck
Mhm,
them.
mhm. So I
So
think
what the
part of
fuck is Trump doing for people them in
I,
America?
he's
That's
not
really
doing
the question you
nothing.
have to
I think
ask.
he's doing stuff for himself. He's beefing all
He's
this stuff. He's
always been that way. As I told you, he's an
yes,
opportunist.
yes. So when you see him do stuff, it's because of revenge and because he has beefs and because he like the billionaires. You see, the only reason Epstein shit got because he kind of put it out there because he's kind of confused. But the reason I believe he put it out there because a lot of the billionaires in there, he wanted to kind of get them in shit because he wants to be
He
the number
wanted to
one.
scare the shit out of them
Yes,
in regards to having them publicly being known. That's all he's doing is
and
like
be on top of
trolling and
them.
getting them like, so you have to work with me. That's all he's been doing. The
Yes, you all
Apprentice
have to
show,
work with me.
brother.
Think of it. That's good. I
You
like what
better
you're saying.
work with
Yeah.
me or I'm going to like say
Expose
you're
you.
fired.
That's why they haven't released all of them because you're right. He's holding it like this. Um, you own this company? Hey, behind closed doors, will you work
I
a deal
You
out
know
with
that you're
me?
my apprentice. So if you don't work with me, you're fired. So you see this thing here that I have? You see
Yeah.
this little like golden like
Yeah.
carrot in front of you, your donkey blood clot, uno? Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what he's doing.
Yes. If you don't work with him, he's gonna expose you. So I'm guessing a lot of them are working with him.
They had to.
They had to
Because
work with him.
remember now, remember his first presidential time.
Yeah.
Remember how quickly he got put out?
Yes.
And remember that he got put out because he was going against the whole entire like COVID
Yes.
vaccine
That's why
protocol.
he blames for his him getting kicked out.
All right. So now he saw that and he was like, so you guys were all ganging up on me to getting out of the presidency so that this dumb old ass can
Mm-hmm.
come in and like go along with what you're doing? Okay, then. So this is what we're gonna do now. And this is
Mm-hmm.
why I said he's been running the show,
Mm-hmm.
the presidential election, like it's his media campaign of The Apprentice because he
Yes.
learned the controlling mechanism through media, brothers.
It's true. It's true.
The
100%.
man learned it and said, all right, I'm gonna pay for the people to mastering all of this type of marketing stuff to getting into
Social
everybody, and
media.
I'm gonna get back my presidency.
Yeah, so okay, social media is bigger now. His Apprentice was out, but that was his form of communication through social media. So
That
he
was his
knows,
way of actually now getting the love and the appreciation from the American people them through
yes,
media.
because you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong. Before all of his campaign, a lot, and I just talked about early in the episode, a lot of rappers used to reference Donald Trump as success, as like a good thing. Oh, Donald Trump, yeah, I want to be like Donald Trump or have the wealth like Donald Trump. Or you saying, Ebony Blaze, I used my power of tongue and called judgment verbally at every infraction I see. We are done
Complying. I
complying.
agree.
Yeah, Trump is now on real power. You hate him for it. Yeah, wait a minute.
What
Real
real
power.
power?
I don't know about that,
He's been the puppet
Rudy.
of the power of the people that are doing the strings. He ain't no damn power. Like this is the problem with people.
I'm gonna
Like I
add you
don't
as
understand
moderator.
them.
Mm,
Yes, wagwan, brother. Yeah, man. But that's
add
the
you.
whole thing. Like everybody's thinking like Trump has power. No,
You're a
Trump is just
moderator,
using.
D2E.
Trump is just playing like cards with the people them that he's in contention with.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because this is the way how America and politics play. You see, when America, you see in politics,
Mm,
when they can have a secret about you to
yeah.
gain control, they're going to use it. When they can actually discredit you to the public people,
Mm,
and the people will be quickly to jump on it, they'll use it.
yeah. You're right.
You see, so there's really nothing in regards to like power.
Someone says you're just pill blind with garbage knowledge.
Okay.
Rudimental. You're just pill blind. I should make him pay for that comment. You get what I mean? D2E, you're a moderator now, so you can manage certain things right there. Everybody has their opinion. So
I
you
don't
is
give
a
a damn
Trump.
about their damn opinions,
So
yo.
you're a MAGA.
Because the
You're a
whole
MAGA
thing is that
supporter.
anybody that actually believes in politics and follows politics
Mm,
cannot tell me that they're a child of God because you're not supposed to have anybody above God
hmm.
or ruling you other than God. So anybody that wants to continue saying like, oh well, Trump's in power and da, 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 I'm just like, yeah, then you're not Catholic. You're not even a Christian of God. So who are you?
Uh,
Nice try. Get out of here.
yeah, man. Yo, I don't know if I could get D2. Yo, D2E, you're around?
Yeah, I see him saying, okay.
He said, okay, I want to know if he was around, man. I wanted to hear a little bit
See,
of his
that's all it
opinion.
is. These people are just like trolls because they
Mm,
believe in the indoctrination that they have because it's benefiting them.
yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of people will follow along with Trump and everything because whatever the indoctrination is of like this political stuff, they've been benefited from it. I still
Yes.
have to fight some of my own families out here in Canada in
Mm,
regards to like voting and everything. Because they remember now when we had the election out here in Canada, when, oh yes, Trudeau is gonna get gone. Everybody was saying, let's vote conservative so that the liberals are no longer in power. I even
mm.
had some of my sisters and all of them saying, yes, you need to vote. You need to vote. And I'm like, vote for what? Vote for what? Oh, well, if you don't vote, you're a coward. And I'm like, a coward for what? Because when you guys vote, what changes are you guys seeing? Tell me.
Man. It's just not changing anything, man. It's not changing anything.
Thank
But
you.
yo,
Because
people,
now I can look at my sister and she was like, well, the conservatives were promising us, lower taxes and still more money for my, like, dollars and
promising,
everything and all that. And what happened? Mhm.
promising. I ain't looking for that.
Okay.
Promising. But yo, brother, I'm gonna see if D2E could tap in, my brother, before I come off of this still. But yeah,
Definitely.
yo, promote yourself, man. Tell them where they could connect with you and all your
All
business.
right, so I am definitely the man behind the scenes called the Rexdale Rasta Impenetrable, the man behind the clothing brand Impenetrable, where people, you shield your life against all of this foolishness that's out there. So we got tech sweatsuits, regular sweatsuits, track suits, hoodies, t-shirts to represent and being that shield of the life in your own way, being impenetrable. Because it's not just about me being this way to this damn
Mm.
foolishness out here. It's you too. So that's what it's all about. And then I
Bless
also
up.
represent the California brand, Get the Dough. And if you don't know about it, go find out there out in Cali, because that's what we out here doing. We getting the dough. We
Respect.
getting that dough.
Respect for coming
All
through.
right.
D2E family, man.
But I'm the D2E family, and I'm that Recto Rasta giving you the raw blood clot truth when we talk to them. All right.
Much respect, man. Much respect. That was the fam coming through. Bless up. Let me see.
Always, brother. Always.
Yeah, man. I think you
So now
gotta.
I'm going to get back to now burning like me look a piece of ganja, because me get
I'm.
some
I'm.
sensei. The sensei coming in from yard. They already can see it
Oh
there.
shit. Compress. Compress.
I mean, King. That's how we do it.
All right, yo. And
All
just,
right.
just, you just probably have to log off.
Don't know. All
Bless
right.
up. Respect.
Bless up.
See, no. Yeah, man. That's the brother Rex Del Rasta. Yeah, man. We're gonna be smoking one. I don't know if D2E is in here. I got the link, the invite link. If there's a guest in here who just wants to cam up and talk, you can. There's a link in the description, people. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Some real talk. We were just talking for a good while, impenetrable, right? He has his own business, entrepreneur. You could check it out, right? But yeah, I don't know if D2E is still in here. If he's still in here, if he wants to tap in, there's the link in the description. People, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. This episode, you know, Donald Trump beefing with a lot of people. We were going through a lot of history. We talked about other things and what's to come. And, just common sense, real down to earth common sense, right? And anybody in the chat, please subscribe, bring up the likes if you can. Bring up the likes. It's the Down to Earth Network. We're on Spotify podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all podcast platforms. Yeah, D2E, what are you saying, man? And to see what you're saying. Oh, now I know how to pin the stuff when you're talking, right? See what you're saying. People, gonna be for sure going live Saturday night, live 9 p.m. You could tune in. I'll be seeing what breaking news will develop during this time. I know there's things going on right now every second, every hour, right? Yeah, for sure. I'm going to be rolling up one, right? I'm here. Yeah, tap in. I send the link. It's in the description. See if that works, man. See if it works. Keep your eye on Ethiopia. Yes, in my heart, using Somaliland. Yes, I heard about that. Israel refugees going to head there. I could bet they're going to be going to the motherland. I could bet they could be going to the other land. D2E, try the link in the description. Let's see if it works. Try the link in the description. People, please subscribe. Try the link right there. See if you could tap in. I send the link to you actually. I think on the gram too. See if you could tap in. D2E. Bless up. People, please subscribe. So yeah, I could bet they're going there. I could bet a whole bunch of refugees are traveling many places right now, from Iran to Israel. Guaranteed people are trying to leave those war zones. I don't know if everywhere in Iran, because there's 90 million people, that would be a lot of refugees. They're not all leaving, right? Israel, maybe. But yes, people, please subscribe. Waiting to see if D2E is going to tap in. The other part of D2E, Down to Earth podcast. Try it in description. I send it in your Instagram. It's in your Instagram. I send it. If you check your Instagram, tap into it. You've done it before, you'll come on. So it's in the Instagram and it's in the link of the description. Once you tap that, as long as you're on mobile, you'll be on live with me right now. So the links in the Instagram, your DMs already hit up, goes here. Yeah, already hit up, goes here. So you check the one in the gram or the link in the description. It should work. Either the one in your DM or the one in the description. If it doesn't work, then I don't know. Should work as soon as you press it, right? Should come up. Yeah, gram. Okay, yeah, I have that in the gram. Let's see if that works. But yeah, people, I've been talking about the beefing, right? Now a new one. Oh shit, I can't do that now. Can't do that now. If it don't work, it don't work. That would work, right? But yeah, there's a lot of beef this man's making. That's all I gotta say. Man's making up a lot of beef. I talked about his hip hop influence, what he had for a long time in the industry. He's been very influential in the hip hop culture. A lot of people reference Donald Trump in their raps over the years and years. They've been referencing him in their raps, and now he's public enemy number one. I'm just saying. And people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Yes. So later on, probably tomorrow night, tune in, right? Tune in. And thanks for everybody joining the live discussion. This is the D2E Down to Earth podcast with your host, Sean Myrie, Down to Earth Network. Tune in. We got videos on the YouTube channel too. You should check out all the different types of content we have on this network. We have a lot of content, so you could check it all out. I'm out. Bless up.